like the fruit fight ad. Well, you're gonna see it again. Now, this started yesterday, but it's continuing today because we still have fruit to go through, as seen here. So let's do it. Grapes better be S tier. Grapes are A tier, maybe B tier. Mandy, I wish you were here to help us vote on grapes. You shall save the fight that's left in you for future fights. There is stuff left. And sort of like cactus water, it may have stuff in there that might make you sick if you don't pasteurize it. Interesting. You might have to boil the coconut water then, maybe, Manny? Curious. Red grapes are B tier. Sorry, Nats. Sorry, Nat. People said that they weren't as good as white grapes. Let's review. S tier fruits. Banana. I'm not going to go over why each one was that, but why certain things are S tier, I will go over. Starting off, bananas. Obviously S tier. It is a delicious, creamy fruit. We didn't even talk about plantains yesterday. And let me just tell you, there's plantain chips and fried plantains are godlike. Bananas have so many applications. You can enjoy them just straight out of the peel. It's convenient to hold in the hand. It comes in its own wrapper. You can just chuck that away. It'll biodegrade. It's nice and sweet. You can have it when it's slightly underripe. You can have it when it's overripe. If it gets too ripe for you to just sort of eat with your teeth, you can't slice it into your Cheerios or your oatmeal in the morning, well, you can just turn it into banana bread. You can flambe it. You can slice it up and put it with ice cream. You can just turn it as a banana split, or you could just turn it into ice cream by freezing it and then blending it, and then you have a nice dairy-free ice cream treat. So bananas, pretty god tier, honestly. You don't need civilization. This ain't no fruit-friendly debate circle. This is a fruit fight. Exactly. How can cherries be better than grapes? Now, this was a community decision, Nats. Cherries were ranked S tier by most of chats. I find them a little difficult to work with sometimes. When I'm preparing them, we often put them in a fruit salad or in jello. But it is fun to just sit there with a big bowl of cherries, spit out the pits and stuff like that. And also, I thought it'd be very funny to say, put the cherries on top. You know, that's funny. It's a bit. It's there, kind of. It's a funny thing. So it's there. Lemons, I feel like, barely needs an explanation. The lemon makes everything better. It has those qualities that preserve fruits. Keeps an apple or an avocado from turning brown. You can put it in sweet applications like lemonade, a god tier beverage. You can put it in alcoholic beverages, of course, if you so desire. You can put it in savory applications like guacamole. You can put it in something like a lemony pasta, lemony angel hair pasta. You can zest it. Even the outside of the fruit is good. Zest it, toss some roasted carrots in it. Amazing. Really god tier. The only thing that's like, if you would had this, you'd be perfect, is if they didn't have seeds, like the lime. The lime doesn't have seeds, but the lemon having seeds, since it's always reliable, I've never had a bad lemon. I've never cut into a lemon and been like, oh, this one's bad. Honestly. They only get bad after you slice them and maybe keep in your fridge for like weeks because you forgot about it. But I've never cut into a bad lemon. Lemon juice on fish is great. Lemon on chicken is amazing. It's a friend to a lot of... It is a good dear friend. I love the banana because it's there for you when you need a snack. You can put it in your pocket and you can go on a walk and eat a banana and be happy about it. The lemon is a friend, a culinary just icon. So, lemon bars. What a great dessert. So good. They definitely do go bad. Bad lemons are like water balloons of moldy growth. Interesting. But I have to say, Solitary Jordan, I think they have a very long shelf life. There's a mosquito in my room. I'm sorry for clapping randomly into the microphone. There's a mosquito in my bedroom now. Hi, Verdigris. Good to see you, by the way. Cheesy lemon chicken. Right. Lemon pepper seasoning. I mean, it's even good dried. And you can crystallize lemon. You can dry lemon and its potency is not lost. You can still use it in other applications. So lemon is like, I think probably on this list, I think lemon is probably the highest tier fruit. To me. because I really don't think you can make a good argument against it, you know? The only time you've had a bad lemon is when it dried out, but it's like, I'd say 99 times out of 100, you're gonna get a good lemon. Lemon curd is so nice. You make a jar of lemon curd for somebody and they think the world of you, let me tell you. That is, if you've got to make a good impression, make some lemon curd for somebody. And then tell them that you made it and they're like, for me? You went through this effort for me? Yeah, lemon put every point into appearance, acidity, applications. It's just not a snacking fruit. It's not a let me have a bite of this fruit, but everything else is maxed out. This is one thing that's like, oh, wow. So it's I guess you could say that is why we're not all sitting around. That's why we're even making this tier list in the first place, because I guess if you could just eat a lemon right out of your hand, we wouldn't need to discuss. There would be lemon tier and everything else. But anyway. Mangoes. Proof that there is a benevolent force in this world. Proof that sometimes things can go right. The mango is evidence that there's good in the world, you know? It's like, it's bright, it's sunny, it's sweet, it has that nectar flavor to it. There's a little bit of floral bouquet to it. It's got great texture. It's a real fibrous fruit, so you feel like you've done something when you ate a mango. And then you have a little activity to do after you slice the mango and you eat it. Then you got the little pit to work on. There you go. There's your oral fixation and a little bit of like fidget spinner, basically. You know, you're just turning the mango and eating all the fruit off the pit. It's great. All this talk has made you hungry. I wish I could see this, but it'll open on this webpage for some reason. Oh, you just reminded me about chocolate covered bananas, Knox. Fun fair food. Fun fair food. So you have a banana frozen treat in Mexico called Some Banana. It's a frozen banana on a stick covered with chocolate and your favorite toppings. Crushed pecans, coconut flakes, sprinkles. It's a little sweet, but it's so good. That sounds so good, Knox. I forgot briefly about chocolate bananas, you know? All the kids do love mangoes. Mangoes are so good. They're good in drinks. They're good on their own. You can turn them into a salsa. If tomato was here, it would be S tier fruit, by the way. Like if tomato was here. Like, inarguably. It is a fruit and it should be here, but it's S tier. You can eat it on its own. I'm not going to make the argument for tomato. We'll talk about that in October when I do my vegetable stream. Dragon fruit tastes like nothing, Quantum. It tastes like there's no flavor to dragon fruit. Now, maybe there's pink dragon fruit that Snake has been talking about that tastes better, but dragon fruit I had literally tastes like nothing. It was gorgeous, but it tasted like nothing. I would love to see it, Quantum. Mango tastes, I mean, in my experience, leaps and bounds better. And it's good and it's juicy. It's a big mess, but it's an event. You're there to enjoy the experience, and I've always enjoyed my mangoes. Always. I don't think I've ever cut into a mango and been like, "Aw." And I think people make a big fuss about the preparation. Let me tell you, you can be as careful as cutting an avocado with it. But I always cut off the 2 lobes, then I kind of peel the pit and that snack in, or you can slice off the little thinner lobes on the thin sides of the pit, and then, you know, dice that. But I have those 2 lobes and I rest them like this. I score them, not in my hand. They say that for legal purposes. Never score it in your hand because you'll cut yourself. Put a towel in your hand, or put the mango on the cutting board that you use to slice it. Score it, and then invert it from concave to convex. Invert it. Like so. Like this is the mango, and then this is the mango. And then you have perfect cubes of mango to enjoy. You're eating an S rank right now? Tell me what you have in Devontae. You don't want to go avocado hand? Exactly. Which I've never gotten before, and I never will. But yeah. You think it's a matter of dragon fruit needing to ripen on the plant? Because they are like an edible glass of water around here, yeah. It's clear who in this chat has sensory sensitivities. Dragon fruits is perfectly subtle. It's creamy yet crunchy texture. Interesting. I appreciate that about you, Quantum, because I need someone who can advocate for dragon fruit, and that's why it's not in D tier. Okay, it's not in D tier because we have advocates here. Let's get to the peach. I mean, the peach, America's darling. I think the siren of summer. Here to tell you that, again, there's good in this world. You can enjoy this moment. The peach says slow down. The peach says, you've been waiting all year for this. Why don't we just sit down and enjoy ourselves? Let's make this a moment, says the peach. Enjoy the fuzzy exterior. Enjoy the sweet and slightly tart interior. The kind of tanginess that peaches have. Get all the way to the pit, and usually for peaches, the fruit comes away pretty cleanly from the pit. There's something satisfying about like cutting a peach, kind of turning it, and then the flesh just tears away right from the pit. So great, so delicious. And then, as I believe Pinecone was saying the other day, then you got slingshot ammunition. But I think peaches go great in cobblers. You can make a peach. Again, there's things like salsas you can make. Peach barbecue sauce is a thing that exists because some places got too many peaches. Ooh, it's a future S tier. Some cold ass, sweet ass watermelon. Nice. Never felt cleaning the pit was so... Really? Now, there's a lot of varieties of peaches here in the US, Quantum. And some of them are like easy clean, and some of them are like it's dug into the stone, you know. I think the only difference is you don't necessarily consider lack of flavor a bad thing yet. For me, it's a bad thing because I'm like, I could be having a mango right now. For the dragon fruit, I could be experiencing something that's a little more, you know, in your face. But you know me, I live life out loud. I need those big bangs. I need the color. I'm not like the gray beige of it all. But I realize there is an importance to subtle experiences. You know, something a little more palatable, perhaps. I realize that there's an importance to that, you know. It can't always be like, wow, wow, wow. You need to have the lows in life to appreciate the highs and stuff, so. Grew up in the South. Peach ice cream and peach pie are so deeply embedded into your childhood that it cannot be removed. Yes. The first ice cream I ever made with my mom, and she had got this fancy, fun little ice cream machine from, like, Salvation Army or something like that. Some secondhand store. She had gotten a secondhand ice cream machine, and we made peach ice cream with like heavy cream and peaches and hardly any sugar, and I was hunting for the peaches in that. I was like, please peaches, because it was like cold cream, but the peaches were the best part. You're not even big on eating peaches proper, preferring them as a flavoring usually, but they're still easily S tier for all that they can do. What's your favorite peach flavored thing, Alex? Because we were talking about peach tea yesterday. I forgot about peach tea. I don't know if you've ever had it. Snapple makes a black peach tea, I think. It's some kind of peach tea, and I was addicted to it. Like, I would drink maybe 2 bottles of it a day, glass bottles. And I tell you, like I said, if we get peach tea in my house, I'm losing my father. He's addicted to it as well. I think he'll peach tea himself into the grave. Interesting. There's a trick to cutting the peaches beforehand and letting them steep in their own juices before you make the ice cream. Interesting. Peach tea, right, Knox? I forgot about it. And frankly, I hope I forget about it again because it'll ruin my life because I love it so much. And Snapple's peach tea is so sweet. It's like you're basically drinking 2 candy bars every time you have a glass of that. You feel like it's tough to answer. Your answer might change every time you remember peach flavored thing, but you're all in on peach Snapple. What about those peach rings too? I feel like a lot of people love those gummies. Subtlety is why dragon fruit is good in drinks. It's great to add depth to another beverage. It's very mellow on its own. Not what you're going for in a snack, yeah, but it is a nice additive, which is why, you know, it's there, it's up there. Like passion fruit, great in drinks. Great in a like passion fruit sablé or something, like a passion fruit creme brulee. When they mix it into like a dessert preparation, then it's like, oh, this is great. Passion fruit, love it. You just had the peach rings yesterday. They were an impulse buy at the drugstore. Right. Yeah. Passion fruit cider. Interesting. Peach rings are, funnily enough, one of the things you're kind of about. You don't think it's the peachiness, though. It's just sort of worse than the sum of its parts thing. I get you, yeah. I'm betting, to be fair, that certain companies put out a peach tea, like a tea bag kind of thing, that you don't need to add sugar to. And if I can find it, I will make it, because I love peach tea. Last but not least on the S tier, then we're going to get to the new fruits. We're going to start at the back end of it with ground cherries, by the way. Because I think we can probably pretty quickly move through the ones that no one's had before, or like very few people have had. And then move to the big bangers: watermelon, honeydew, Asian pears, strawberries, raspberries, etc. The last but not least, I just want to explain the S tiers. Pineapple, the fruit that eats you back. The enzymes are strong, but the pain kind of makes it worth it, honestly. Pineapples are so sweet and golden, a symbol of hospitality in some cultures. It's a big honking fella too. You could practically eat every part of it. Don't, except for the outside, except for the leaves, except for the core. But like, you can eat a lot of it, is what I'm saying. They're so good. The only S tier match you have with y'all. By the way, if you want to make your own fruit tier list, I'll copy this again and I'll put it into the chat. Again. Yeah, they call green apples ouchie. Green apples hurt my teeth. Pineapples just hurt the corner of my mouth. That's it. There's a good peach tea that has much less sugar. Pure leaf subtlety peach tea is what it's called. Interesting. I'll keep an eye out for it. Some of the best drinks are made of pineapples. Pina coladas come to mind, obviously. They're so good. They're sweet. They're golden. They're summery. They bring that kind of island time to you, you know? You never had irritation from pineapple? Have you ever had sliced fresh pineapple, Snake? Because almost every time I make sliced fresh pineapple, if I eat like a few rings of it, goodbye. Goodbye, mouth. The corners of my mouth are gone. Maybe I'm mildly allergic. I don't know. I have no clue. You can't truly bury coconuts because of pina coladas. Pina coladas is like heaven. 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 Creamy coconut, sweet and tangy pineapple. So good. It just eats your mouth unless you're also allergic. Yeah, that's what I thought. But my dad told me when he used to work at a pizza place, they couldn't like store the pineapple for another day because it would just start digesting itself in the tray. Like in the cut little bin, they'd have to open the can of pineapples one at a time to use it for like the Hawaiian pizza, the ham and pineapple pizza. Because if they just dumped it all at once, it would start digesting itself in the bin. You're quite sure that's slightly an allergy thing, actually. Interesting. I will eat it still, despite the allergy. Kiosk Queen, good to see you. Hello and happy Friday. Your top 3 fruits are white grapes, strawberries, and oranges. You have so many on this list to try, right? I highly advise it, Kiosk Queen. It's so good to see you, by the way. Welcome back for 2 years now. And I have a fun card for you. Something to think about. The pineapples are alive. They're not alive, but there's enzymes in them that break things down. Alright, your card is Inner Child. It's a beautiful fairy floating through the night sky holding a teddy bear. Isn't that nice? So let me see what Inner Child means for you, Kiosk Queen. Can you believe it's been 2 years? Amazing. Thank you so much for that support, Kiosk Queen. Let's see. It says, just as you take care of small children by listening to them, playing with them, and hugging them, so does your inner child yearn for nurturing. This card also asks you to have patience with yourself as you're growing and maturing at your own pace. And your affirmation is, I invest in myself by taking regular time to let go, play, and have fun. There you go. A little mission for you for this month, Kiosk Queen. Let go, play, and have fun. Correct. It's indeed the bromelain. Okay, let's have a look. So Verdigris says, the reason your tongue becomes irritated when eating the tropical fruit is because of a pesky enzyme called bromelain. This enzyme does is essentially digest the protein on your tongue as you eat, causing a tingling sensation that you get in your mouth. Good to see you, Chaos. So, by the way, welcome back. The bromelain breaks down your mouth meat. Yep. So that's why it hurts to eat pineapple sometimes, but I do not care. I love it. Now that we've rehashed the S tiers, I won't go over A tier and B tier because I'd like to eventually play Pikmin. And my brother was very disappointed to see Apricot in C tier, by the way. I don't think we've had a lot of fresh apricots, but he's a huge fan of apricot jelly and dried apricots. All right, I kind of want to work my way backwards since we started at the top last time. Let's start our way at the bottom with ground cherries. Has anyone, I'm going to do polls for all of these because I've never had a ground cherry before. So I'm going to do good, bad, and never had. And if most of the community hasn't had it before, it's going to be 2 minutes, by the way, to vote this poll. If most of the community hasn't had it before, I'll just put it in the I've never had this section. But if like ground cherries is something that y'all eat every day and like I'm missing out, then I can put it somewhere. But let me see. Ground cherry. Wait. This might be a weed that grows in my lawn. I'm sorry, this is a weed in my garden. I thought this was a Chinese lantern plant. The husk looks a lot like a lantern, except I don't know if these fruits are getting this big. There might be a yeah, okay, yellow nightshade ground cherry. I think I have a variation of it that is very small. The berries were like, when I was pulling them out, they were like that big. These at your childhood home. You want to see yesterday you learned about bromelain from a Star Trek episode. A guy was taking bromelain injections. And that's how the crew realized his favorite food is pineapple. Interesting. F ground cherries is quantum. Interesting. By God, put them in the F tier already. Wait, hang on. You've had these. They're very good, very sticky, but very good. One person says bad. Nat, do you want me to put you down for good? I can vote good for you. I'll just put that up there for you. Interesting. It says there's medical applications of Physalis species in the Americas. You can make a decoction, infusion, soak them. Herbal preparations have been administered internally and externally. They're susceptible to tomato diseases and pests, aphids, spider mites, whiteflies, potato beetles. They are a member of the nightshade family. Interesting. 10 of you have said never had before, so that's the majority of the community. I'm very curious. I would not just go out and eat the cherries growing in my yard because, one, I don't know about the soil. Two, I don't know that this variety that grows in my yard is edible, in fact. But interesting. So let's hear from the community about it. These are definitely things in your backyard. Yeah. So, there are many of the species endemic to Mexico. It's a flowering plant in the nightshade family, which are native to the Americas and Australia. Watching me say they're just kind of weird. They're dry and seedy and sweet and ugh. Okay. You pull the husk apart, you chomp down on the cherry. You never know with wild berries. Yes, I don't know. Put you down for good. Okay, I did. But that was one good, one bad, and mostly never had them. So because we don't have we don't have like a strong base, we're gonna put them in never had. All right, next up is the pomelo. Well, I was gonna say, has anybody here had a pomelo? I'm gonna do, just for these ones that I've never had before, I'm gonna do good, bad, and never had. So that we can, if the majority of the experience with these things that I also haven't had, because I haven't had guava or like red currants before. I think I've had guava as a flavoring in something. So I'm going to leave those alone, but these last like 5 or 6 or so are ones that I haven't really had before. Pomelos are like a better grapefruit. Oh, interesting. Is it like a green grapefruit? Wait, the pomelo I think was the originator. I believe oranges are like a cross between a pomelo and something else. Let me look this up. It's a natural non-hybrid citrus fruits. Interesting. The principal ancestor of the grapefruits. It's native to Southeast Asia. Hello, Smee. Good to see you. Similar in taste to a sweet grapefruit, the pomelo is commonly consumed and used for festive occasions in Southeast Asia. As with the grapefruit, phytochemicals in the pomelo have a potential for drug interactions. Okay. Let's see. We got 7 never hads, 1 good. It sounds like it's like a sweeter version of a grapefruit. You know? You're pretty sure pomelo is a ground psychic type. You've had ground cherries multiple times. Tell me about them, Strawberry Hat. Interesting. So, the common sweet orange is a cross between the pomelo and a mandarin. Bitter oranges, again, pomelo and mandarin hybrid. Tangelo are grapefruits or pomelo and tangerines. The grapefruit is a pomelo hybrid. There's a bunch of them. It looks like most folks have not had them though, so we're gonna put them at never had. When you worked in produce, you would suggest those to people who wanted something that was like a tamer grapefruit. Interesting. So I'm gonna guess you are our vote for good, Smee. Yeah, interesting. Also, hello. Good to see you. Alrighty. Very interesting. Next up is custard apple. I've never had it before. Let's see if y'all have. I'm getting educated here by you all. I don't think this is a mayapple. I think it's a very bumpy fruit. So that's going to be another good, bad, and never had. But once we get to the fruits I'm familiar with, then we're going to do like S tier to D tier. And if a lot of folks have had any of these fruits I haven't had before, like, I hadn't had blackcurrants before, but a lot of you had experience with that. So through your experience, we did the community ranking. Yes, Byrexis, exactly. You think you might have had one sometime in the past, but you don't have a real impression of it. Interesting. We hope that custard apple tastes like a Bavarian custard filling. That would be amazing. Let me look up custard apple. You're gonna say you've never had it, but you thought you did. Custard apple is a common name for several fruits in the Ananaceae family, which include the pawpaw, the cherimoya, the sugar apple or sweet sop, and the wild custard apple. Interesting. Oh, pawpaws, huh? Now that looks decidedly different from the one presented on the screen. But apparently it may count. You ate a pine cone once as a kid, that does not count. That does not count. 8 people say they never had this before. Ground cherries have a distinct flavor and are mostly sweet and sour. You've eaten them when they're used as a garnish. Okay, that sounds cool. I hope to try one day. Just not from my yard. They're sweet and sticky. Interesting. It has yellowish green to brown fruits. Sometimes it's called lang lang. I've had that in shampoos, but never eaten it before. It looks like this one's gonna be in the never had it territory. We've only got one person who's had experience with it, but I'd love to hear about your experience with it. It says pawpaws are the largest edible fruit indigenous to the United States. If you had asked me, I would have said for sure these are from Australia. But interesting, the genus name Azamina is adapted from the Native American asamin or rasamin, combining the root terms rasi, divided lengthwise into equal parts, and min, seed, fruit, nut, or berry. Interesting. How about that? Pawpaw fruits. The name pawpaw probably derives from the Spanish papaya, it says. Because of the superficial similarity of the fruits, the fact that they both have large leaves. about that, though. So most folks have never had it before. Hello, Pinecone. Welcome on in. You think you put an immature pinecone in your mouth once? Because you thought it'd be salty. Like a nut. Interesting. How was it? Probably very, very bitter and astringent, I would guess. White currants. Again, I've never had black currants before. But some of you have, so let's see about white currants. We're gonna put that at good, bad, and never had again. Give it 2 minutes. You looked up custard apple because you thought you had it before, but you're mixing it up with soursop. Interesting, because there's a sweet sop before. Huh. For this tier list, you didn't know that currants came in various colors. I thought they were red. I didn't know there were other kinds. How about that? Downward hanging pawpaw flowers may attract many kinds of insects that are not effective cross-pollinators. Weird. I don't like looking at that. It's kind of scary. You had only ever heard of black currants. It seems like a lot of you are in agreement. I'm assuming the white currant is... There's also red currants. We're going to talk about that next. I'm going to move this down here. Because... I don't know if folks have had these either. You've had red ones and black ones, but you know there were whites. Interesting. We're going to get all the currants taken care of for me, an American who doesn't have these many things. We don't really have currants here because it would interfere with the lumber industry, because currants have a kind of... They can carry a kind of disease that if it exists within something like 100 yards or 100 miles, I can't remember. I just read about this the other day. But there's something going on with currants and pine. White pine blister rust on currants and gooseberries. Let's see. You can't have them within like some amount of miles between them and white pines, because it will ruin the lumber. It just destroys it. Ohio law doesn't prohibit the planting of red currants or gooseberries. Interesting. Oh. So, you've never had them before. Me neither. They're going down here. You turn the stream on and your cat can't stop looking at it. I'm doing this mouse thing. Maybe the kitty cat likes it. Maybe cats like fruit. Who knows? Quite a leap between 100 miles and 108. Yeah, let me get accurate info there. Let's see. I want to make sure I get the accurate info. Let me see. I'm gonna just type in 100 miles. Okay, it says here one type of white pine blister rust is capable of traveling 100 miles or more. So it is 100 miles, not 100 yards. You can't have it within 100 miles of a pine tree. Good luck. Yeah. Regardless, yeah, I got it. Thank you, Keen, Good to see you, by the way. The cat has opinions. Yeah, let me know what your cat's favorite fruit is. Next up is red currants. I think some of you said you had experience with red currants. So we're going to do the poll of good, bad, never had. And if we get overwhelmingly, like, feedback for good or bad, then I'll let you in chat just say your ranking of it, where you would put it. Because it probably is just going to be a C tier, I'd imagine. Yeah, they currently can't be grown in the United States. There's a lot of places where it is, like, illegal to have gooseberries or currants because of the way they communicate disease. They can just be born on the wind. That's wild. So let's see about these currants. One person thinks red currants are terrible. At least C tier or D tier. What you remember from the red currant bushes with was that they were very tart and sour. I wonder if they're like, I would presume they're probably made into jellies, you know, and sweetened that way. Hey, on my bike, what's going on? Passion fruit C tier? I think it's its inaccessibility and the texture that people don't like. But I would love to hear where you think passion fruit would rate. I've only ever had it in drinks. I think it's okay. But if I'm reaching for a fruit, I'm probably not reaching for a passion fruit, you know? Growing up, you had a tree in your yard, your neighbor's yard, that would die and fall in their garage because it was infected with holly. Yeah, Will, however, honestly, Will, you never know, by the end of this, I might drag a few down. I'm going to show everybody what the community and my taste is, and then I'm going to do a purely Tina chart. And it's only going to have a few things move. But one of those things is going to be grapefruit. One of the things will be grapefruit, and the other thing is going to be green apple. To be honest. Because it hurts. So how are you, Will? I hope you're doing well. It looks like most folks haven't had red currants, so we're going to scoot that over there. We only have a few more left that I don't have any experience with. Because fortunately, recently I did try a starfruit. So, rambutan. Tell me, what's the deal with rambutan? How do y'all like it? Is it good, bad? Never had it. And apparently mangosteens are really good. We're working on these ones that I haven't had because I can really go to town on the rest of these. I can really speak my piece about each one of these things, except for maybe guava. Might be another one where it's like, what? You've only had one experience with the rambutan. You think rambutan's amazing. Really? What does it taste like on my bike? I'm gonna do a little research on rambutan. The godlike, oh, that experience is the godlike pun Alex made last night. It was at a B tier and it was like, whoa, Black Betty, rambutan. You've only seen these fruits on like cooking shows, yeah. I thought maybe it was like a lychee, but it says the rambutan is a medium-sized tropical tree in the family of Sapindaceae. The name also refers to the edible fruit produced by the tree. It's native to Southeast Asia, closely related to other edible tropical fruits, including the longan and the lychee, which I had put lychee up at the B tier because I loved lychee gummies. They're kind of like a fuzzy lychee. They look so cute. They look like a little gummy inside a little furry, like, Elmo, you know? Sweet, a bit like grapes. Whoa, we've got a lot of goods. We've got a lot of good rankings here. So I will ask those of you after this to say what tier you think it is, and I will put it there for you. So it says the fruit flesh or the arrow is translucent whitish or very pale pink. It says it is a sweet, mildly acidic flavor reminiscent of grapes. Interesting. It's soft. It says the seed is a glossy brown. It is soft and contains equal portions of saturated and unsaturated fats. The seed can be cooked and eaten, but it is bitter and has narcotic properties. Whoa, that came out of nowhere. Wow. Narcotic, huh? That's wild. And mildly worrisome. Who would have thought? Rambutans look cool. Okay, so those of you who voted good, I'm gonna let you tell me what tier you think they're in. You get sticky fingers when you eat it. That's fair. I mean, I love mangoes, honestly, for that reason. All the apricot hate. I've never had them not in a jam. I've only had them dried or in a jam. And they're okay, but it's kind of just like very samey. A tier. You're not supposed to have too many, but they are really good. A tier fruit, the rambutan. Sounds like a high B. Okay, Harmless Iterator says B. So the stickiness might be a problem. How easy are they to like husk? How easy are they to open? Bothersome to prepare, not very versatile, but they are good. I say B because they're inferior to grapes due to the extra work. Okay. They're easy to open with a knife. Interesting. Subpar apricot experience, sour something. I've never had it fresh before. So, you know. Listen, okay, very curious. I feel comfortable putting it in B, but let me count. So we've got 2 A tiers, 3 B tiers, and I think that's the 5 folks that voted. Oh, but there were 7 votes actually. The husk doesn't stick to the inside, so you can just slice it open and peel it. Okay, how interesting. Who would have thought? I gotta try some of these. They're not a climacentric fruit. They ripen only on the tree and appear not to produce a ripening agent. Interesting. Very curious. Slightly overripe apricots make you feel like a genuine monarch. That's how I felt about figs. When I had a fresh fig, I was like, I am some sort of like rich, noble person in the Mediterranean region. You've only had them totally fresh in Thailand, but they were like, that was still A tier to you. Interesting. How bad would you feel if it was a B tier? Like, is this robbery? Is it robbery to put it on the same level as the lychee? Oh, it looks like I can put cherry over here. I'm not going to do that, though, because I believe bananas are better, personally, to me. And honestly, if we're really ranking it like this, then I'm going to move it like so. Oh, you know, lemon's got to be up top. And a peach. I don't know where peach falls. But anyway. Does it feel like robbery to put it at a B tier with the lychee? Is that okay? Figs are genuinely holy. Yeah. Figs inspire religious feelings. It's robbery to put them at the same level as the nectarine. I know you feel very strongly about nectarines. Nectarines are like the cousin of peaches. They're almost as good to me. But, you know. Mangosteens. I only learned about this fruit from Pikmin. Thank goodness for Pikmin 3. It taught me about mangosteens. I thought it was just a tiny weird eggplant. But has anybody had a mangosteen before? We're almost on the fruits I've never had. Jackfruit will be the last one, and then you better believe I'm coming to town. I am going to be very present and argumentative to talk about starting with pomegranates. So, you feel like you have eaten a mangosteen before, but you can't remember it, so you're going to be comfortable in saying never have. You consider them A tier, but more people voted for B, so it's fair. Okay. Has that really been an hour? I can't believe it's been an hour. In 1 minute, I gotta get up and stretch. I'll let us vote for jackfruit, but I have a feeling, honestly, I'm probably just gonna put jackfruit in the never had tier. Probably, we'll see. I don't really recall this one. 9 votes for never had. I think it's pretty firmly gonna go to the never had territory. And it says the ad is going to start in about 30 seconds. I'm going to hit run now. I'll get up and stretch. And I might let this poll for the mangosteen run out. But apparently mangosteens are like the queen of fruits. I think that's its nickname, is like queen of fruits. It's apparently very good. And the fruit inside looks a lot like the fruit inside of a lychee or a rambutan. It looks like that segmented kind of white semi-translucent goodness. So I'm sure it's delicious, but I wish I could try it. Alright, I'm getting up and stretching. While we talk about mangosteens. They look very cool at least. What a fun little fruit. Oh yeah. Y'all, I talked for 5 hours non-stop yesterday. 5 hours non-stop. I was shocked to find I did not have a sore throat today. I had ginger tea with some lime in it right after the show. I made sure as soon as, maybe about 15 minutes after the show ended, I was like, okay, tea time. I've got to get some tea. Otherwise, this is going to be an issue. Alright, but no one's had mangosteens before, unfortunately. We don't have any mangosteen experiences. How about that? Mangosteen is also incredible on my bike. It's very sweet. Interesting. You know, you can vote. It doesn't cost any points or any money or anything like that to vote on my bike. Or does the poll not show up on like mobile or something? I do not know. I also did not get up and stretch for most of the 5-hour stream yesterday. It was a bad idea. Wow. Ah, you missed it. Gotcha. Gotcha. No worries. I'm gonna do a little. There you go. You're gonna vote on my bike? Sure. I don't have one. I have some instant S tiers waiting, like strawberry and watermelon. I'm looking forward to seeing what the community has to say, because some people are anti-watermelon, and I feel like there's some folks out there that might be anti-strawberry. And I feel like talking it out with you all will help me understand my feelings, you know? I know, I barely stretch. I think at the end I did some stretching. And you know what? Today I've had some hand tightness. I don't think it's from ranking fruits. I think it's from fighting Millennia. Which thankfully we beat her. Didn't like watermelon? I don't know. There's some folks who are like, it's just water. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like gnats. Yeah, some people hate honeydew. I'm a fiend for honeydew. I love honeydew. Love it. Adore it. When you get a good honeydew, so good. So recently I had an ethereal angelic honeydew. It was amazing. It was like pure sugar and nectar. The best honeydew I've ever had. I know, strawberry hat. No! You can't vote S tier for watermelon? We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get to it. We gotta get through jackfruit first. In fact, let me get this poll going for jackfruit while I'm stretching. Good, bad, never had. Alright. Start thinking about jackfruit. You've never even heard of it. See, I thought jackfruit was the same as durians, but I don't think it is. I think it's a different thing. I'm gonna Google it, and we're gonna learn together about jackfruit. Let's see. Jackfruit. Let's see here. Also known as the jack tree or nanka. It's a tree in the fig, mulberry, or breadfruit family. It's well suited to tropical lowlands, including India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, the rainforests of the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Australia. A mature jackfruit tree sometimes produces up to 200 fruit per year. The jackfruit itself is a multiple fruit composed of hundreds of thousands of individual flowers, and the fleshy petals of the unripe fruit are eaten. Okay. The ripe fruit is sweet, commonly used in desserts. Canned green jackfruit has a mild taste and a meat-like texture that lends itself to being called vegetable meat. Interesting. It's commonly used in South and Southeast Asian cuisines. Both the unripe and ripe fruit is consumed. It's available internationally canned or frozen and in chilled meals, as are various products derived from the fruit, such as noodles and chips. Interesting. So we got 4 people for good and 5 people for never had. Interesting. I'm curious if it's in the breadfruit variety. It's in that family. And also mulberry family. How about that? So it seems like it says it's naturally sweet with a subtle pineapple or banana-like flavor. It's used in custards, cakes, or mixed with shaved ice. I think I've heard about that. Jackfruit shaved ice. Never had it, but I have heard about it. It's in Indonesia. In the Philippines, it's called halo halo, and es teler in Indonesia. I apologize for my terrible pronunciation. I really don't know how to say much. Hope I'm close, somewhere close. The taste is often compared to Brazil nuts. Alrighty, so most folks, so we have a majority of folks saying never had. I would still love to hear. I'm going to put it in the never had section. But I'd love to hear from the folks who say it's good. What do you think of it? How you've had it before. Jackfruit's interesting knocks. It kind of tastes like different fruits. It smells good and bad at the same time, but it's not as pungent as a durian. And if you have access, get some canned green jackfruit and make pulled pork with it. That's right. It has vegan applications like that. Interesting. Bacon, good to see you. Yes, that's what I've heard is the experience, Bike, is that the smell of it is repulsive, but the taste of it is very good. How about that, Cage? It could be used as a meat alternative. Yeah, it was described, the texture was very meat-like. How about that? I pronounce mulch. Oh, much. Just fine. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Harmless. We're down to just one row, folks. Can you believe it? How many fruits is this? Like about 12 or 13 fruits left. Hello, TTL. What's going on? We are about to discuss, I just want to get through the ones I've not had before. Guava is another one I haven't had, but let's talk about pomegranates. 14 left. Okay, thank you. I didn't want to count. 14 fruits remain. 14 fruits remain. The pomegranates. Let's talk about this. I feel now I have to think first, because pomegranate, one of the bad things about pomegranate is having to spell it. It's annoying to spell. It should be granite. Pomegranate. A-N-T, but it's pomegranate. Who is Nate? I'm going to put down S tier, A tier, B, C, and D. Do you need two? Do we need 3 minutes for this? Let's take 3. So, for pomegranates, there's a lot of work getting into it. And what do you do with the little seeds inside? Do you eat those? Because I've had pomegranate before, and I'm just like, what is this? What is this? It's fit. You crack it open inside. It looks like you killed some kind of creature because there's all these red little bulbs in there. And then the seed, you eat it. The white stuff, not. Yeah, you don't eat that. You just crunch them. You chew them. You do eat them. The seeds go in your fruit salad. I don't know if that's the experience I want. Like a hard thing that gets stuck on my tooth. I don't like the hardness of it. I don't like the hardness of the seed. For me, it's a C tier fruit. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't think it's worth it. Pomegranate juice is also just kind of like okay to me. Maybe it's a superfruit or whatever, but pomegranate to me is kind of like, I don't know, cherry's more difficult cousin. Cherry's more difficult but glamorous cousin. Like, cherry's kind of got the same flavor in my opinion. You have a better, like, cherry's got that nice meatiness to it, but the pomegranate's just a little baby water balloon. See, artichoke fruits? Now, you might be talking to an artichoke enjoyer, so you better be careful. It's alright once in a while. You know, I do think it's alright once in a while. If somebody went through the effort of cracking open a pomegranate, I'd be like, oh, sure, yeah. And I guess I'd have to sit there and eat the pomegranate seeds remind me of once being over at a friend's house and they served chicken, and I was like, for some reason, extremely socially awkward during that exact moment, and I had a little piece of like cartilage in my bite of chicken thigh, and I was so like frozen with social awkwardness that I just crunch, chewed the cartilage and ate it, because I was like, I don't want to spit this food out and insinuate that the food is bad. It's my fault that there's cartilage in this. So I just chewed it and I ate it. And then like the next bite I got a little piece of bone. And then I had to get up. I went to the kitchen to spit it out. That's what the pomegranate seed feels like to me. It feels like you shouldn't be eating it. You know? It feels like a little piece of cartilage. You would throw... Gage, that's very dramatic. No one here is saying pomegranate is S tier. We got 5 A tiers, 4 B tiers, 5 B tiers, 5 A tiers. Tell me, pomegranate enjoyers, why do you think it's so high ranked? Why is it so high ranked for you? A tier wins it with 6 votes. I'm more inclined to put it in B tier. I need to hear from the A tier folks why it's so good. The taste is S tier, but the work knocks it down to A tier. What do you like about it? The taste is pretty dang good. Interesting. I do enjoy a sunflower seed nut. You two put it in B tier. The eatable bits are hard to get to, but they're very good. It's very much worth the trouble. It's one of the best juices ever. Honestly, like, but are you knocking back glasses of pomegranate juice? Very expensive. Very expensive. I just don't see it as an A tier fruit. It should be lucky it's not a C tier because I would honestly put it in a C tier. Because to me, I'm not impressed. I'm kind of whatever about the pomegranate. It's still, you're still showing rambutan? Oh, you can't vote? Can you hit X on that poll, Smee? You love the taste, but the work pulls it down and the mess that comes with it. Are they messy? Are they messy? I feel like it's another one of those, the prep is rough for you. It also feels like a chore to get through sometimes. Interesting. Very messy. They are messy. How is it messy? Are y'all putting like a handful of seeds in your mouth? It looks like a crime scene. To me, that's kind of B tier. I will make a mango look like a crime scene because I'm a vicious feral person. You know, I'm wild. Don't look at me when I'm eating a mango. I'll never eat one on stream. Because the things I'll do to a mango should never be seen by another human being. But pomegranate, I think it's solidly B tier because you're right. I think the juice is kind of good. I'd rather somebody else create it for me. And then if I find it in a salad, if I find it in a fruit salad or on top of regular salad, I guess I'm not upset. And I will now try to eat the seeds, but... Well, this is no indicator of their value. Maybe we'll do that when we wrap up because I gotta rank... Right now, this is just in order of, like, what list they were here. I will move them around. We'll do that. Pulling the seeds apart sometimes pops one and then the juice is everywhere. Ugh. See, I thought it'd be like a papaya. You know how papaya in the center, it has, like, all the seeds and they're just discrete little fun balls? It's just like a little... It's like a little, like... surprise gotcha of weird seeds. You open and you're like, whoa, weird seeds. That's fun. These look like little peppercorns. And then I thought pomegranates, you open it up and you can just shake it out and the fun little seeds are everywhere. How is lemon S tier? Oh, because the culinary applications are out of control. Lemon makes everything better from savory to sweet. Lemonade. You put zest on anything. I discussed this earlier, Bike. I will not rehash this, but lemons make everything better. It is a god tier fruit. Tomatoes are also god tier fruits. Well, Devontae, let's get on to raspberry. Lemon is everywhere, yeah. It's useful, but on its own, it's garbage. It's the one thing holding it back, I think, is that you wouldn't just eat a lemon. But life without lemons is not a life at all. If I found out tomorrow I was allergic to lemons, I don't know how I'd be able to cope. You have to go look at all the food that you eat, make sure lemon wasn't in it. And lemon's in everything that's good. Yeah. You sometimes see fruit stands at the market where they sell cups of peeled pomegranates. It's a little expensive for the size, but it's amazing to just be able to scoop a spoonful and enjoy the good stuff. Yeah, that does sound good. Fruit stands are great. Fruit stands are where you'll see prepared mango. You get a cheap little cup of prepared mango or sliced pineapple. I'll dice a guy with a big knife or an older lady with a big knife will be there chopping this fruit up for you. And you're like, thank you. We're doing an incredible service for humanity. Good for jam, good for lemonade, lemon bars. Lemon zest is good in everything. It punches up everything. Lemon is good in pasta as an accent. It's great in marinades. Like, lemon is just great. Lemon is a perfect fruit. And unlike the lime, it gives itself so freely. It's very rare to get a bad lemon too. So we're not going to talk about lemons though. We're talking about raspberries. So get in on this. And if anybody's having any difficulty voting in the poll, I'll allow you to say like, hey, I can't vote in the poll. This is a C tier fruit to me. Because let me tell you about raspberries. They go moldy so fast. And they're hard to wash. And they bruise easily. You ever just been trying to wash some raspberries and then half the dang things go through the strainer or they smush on the paper towel when you're drying them? You're like, oh, let me have a little snack. This expensive $14.99 crate this big and this deep maybe of raspberries, single layer of raspberries in a little thing this big. It's so expensive. And I'm washing and trying to prepare these lovely raspberries for my mother and they get squashed. So expensive. Super overrated as fresh, but it's great for jam. Final statement. The seeds. The seeds in them. You know? You like Jessie raspberries? Oh, was that the girl from Final Fantasy VII? Lemon zest and sauces is S tier, right, Bike? See, that's why. You're going to keep running into extremely good things that lemons do, and that's why it's at S tier. So we have 4 people for S tier for raspberries, and 4 for C tier. 3 for B tier. Your vote is very important. Because this is going to go either way. Raspberry lemonade is good. Raspberry's a little fuzzy. You know, when you have them in your mouth, they're a little fuzzy. I just feel like you need a big mouthful of them to kind of enjoy. You said B tier, you'd like to vote them down to C because you didn't consider washing them. When you have to prepare them, it's kind of like, oh, fuck, I'm right for the garden. I don't have a raspberry bush. Actually, I do. They're just kind of old, though. So they're not really putting out fruits. How's it going, Morphinius? Good to see you. You need a lot of raspberries to make it a moment, I think. You don't think you've ever had a good one? They're very delicate. You can keep them in the fridge. They last a long time. Unfortunately, in my experience, they get so smushed. You love that whatever fruit we're talking about is so bad we're talking about lemons. Well, you know what, Ewan? My mom gets the organic ones, too. She's got to get it organic. Because she doesn't want, like, pesticides on the berries because they are difficult to wash. Yeah. The utility of raspberries is good. I love a raspberry jam if it's seedless. Raspberry lemonade, good as well. Harmless Iterator, thank you so much for gifting that sub to Morphinius. I appreciate it. In cleaning, you do destroy a good amount of them. The preparation is a little challenging. The seeds are the good part to Harmless. Okay. By the way, again, when Jackie comes back, please let me know because I do have Jackie's card. So, for you... Hold on now. For you... Morphinius, your fairy card of the day is New Location. It's a lovely fairy sitting on maybe like, oh, dancing on a leaf or something on the ocean, maybe going out to sea. A lovely blue fairy. This is a tie between S tier and C tier. I am so surprised. 2 for A tier, 3 for B tier. This is the most divided we've ever been as a community. Let's talk about this. This is going to need some serious discussion. Very interesting. It seems I think I might put it at a B, but personally I feel like it's a C tier. We'll have to talk about this though. This is very important. Very important. I'll tell you though about this. So MN. About New Location for you, Morphinius, and also Harmless Iterator who gifted that sub. New Location says, a change of venue is coming your way. Most likely, you could be moving to a new residence, but this card could also mean you're changing the location of your employment. But it could also mean something like, maybe you need to shake things up. Go to the cafe or the library to do some work. You know, maybe get a little change of scenery, go to the farmer's market, pick out some raspberries or something. Have a nice little time. Changing a location can change your mind. It says, I now live and work in a safe, comfortable, spacious environment in a wonderful location. That is your affirmation. So thank you so much for that, both of you. Let's talk about it. Raspberry jam alone is S tier, but my problem is the seeds. If it's seeded, I'm not having it. I can't. I don't want that. It's challenging. This fruit is gonna divide chat, destroy the streamer. My career will be ruined. Pick up a half pound of raspberries, you wash half of it down the drain, it's gone. Those little nodes keep breaking off because it's such a tender little berry. Jackie is back. Oh, Jackie is back. Jackie, welcome back. Hold on, I have your fairy card for you. I'm actually going to pick a different one. I had Look Inside Yourself, but it does have spider webs in it. I know we have some folks in the community that don't like spiders, so I'm going to put it away. Instead, I'm going to give you Rise Above Problems. It's a beautiful fairy floating near, I think, a windowsill or something. There's a pot in the corner. So let's see what Rise Above Problems does. P. Raising your standards. When you're in the middle of a problem, the solution often evades you. See your solution from a higher perspective, and you might see new ways out, Jackie. Your heart, your mind, your life, and everyone in it are perfectly at peace right now, is the affirmation they say the fairies say to you. All right, let me read up about our feelings about raspberries as a community because, like I said, this one was very divisive. A lot of C tiers, a lot of S tiers. That is a striking difference. Let's see. Raspberries are very good on a chocolate dessert. Yes. Pastel had said that, yeah. You're getting upset by the raspberry haters. Just so you know. So chocolate tart with a fresh raspberry is very good. Chocolate and raspberries go very well. They're great. The tartness and the sweetness of the raspberry cuts through the richness and the kind of depth and darkness, the bitterness of the chocolate. So I get that. Raspberry jam. I've never had raspberry marmalade. Raspberry jam is good. It's gotta be seedless for me. Gotta be seedless. You know? Let's see. Raspberry jam alone is S tier. I will agree with you. When I have a seedless raspberry jam, it's so pungent and powerful. It's very good. So, it's a great jam. It's better than apricot jam. It's better than grape jelly. And it is better than strawberry jelly. If we were ranking jellies, I would say S tier jelly. It's an S tier jelly. It's probably the best jelly. You know? But the fruit itself, the preparation of the fruit itself, is difficult. And thank you for alerting me when Jackie came back. I appreciate that, y'all. You're with me on the seeds being a big negative. I don't like it getting caught in my teeth. I don't know. I probably got big tooth cups. I got big weird shapes in my teeth that catch these little seeds, and it keeps them there. And I'm like, ooh, it's there. Ooh, it's there. I gotta shift this around. I gotta get my tongue and pick this out. I gotta get a toothpick. It out. You don't doubt that they taste good, but they are difficult to handle. And that's honestly super true for you right now. You've been working hard on building new relationships instead of trying to patch old ones. I love that for you, Jackie. And Morphinius, you had said that you really want to move out from your parents' place. You're also going on a trip next week, which is nice. I love that for you. I hope it all works well. You weren't here to vote, but you'll break the tie. What was your vote, Flynn? What was your votes? You never have to go anywhere and put anything that's raspberry in front of you. You're not like, oh, if you see a drink on a menu that's got raspberry in it, you're not like, ooh, okay, I'll try that. I'll have that one. It feels good to love more now. I'm proud of you, Jackie. Raspberries that you get in the little 8-ounce clamshells off-season are pretty mid, but in-season flats are like candy. I've never had, I guess I've just, maybe the ones that we're getting on this East Coast are not good. Does anyone notice the seeds? They get stuck on my teeth. I got weird teeth, I guess. I got tooth cups. Hello, Houseplant Girl. It's so good to see you. How do you feel about raspberries? How do you feel about raspberries? Oh, Ireland. Love that for you. That's great. Go to farm where they have raspberries. I used to grow my own raspberries. The raspberry plants have dwindled because the old stock is kind of, we haven't been trimming it down as much. So the old stock is kind of taking over. You've had some good raspberry tea. You don't see raspberries in many menus. I think it's because of the difficulty of preparation. You're glad you don't have a lingual bar anymore. I have no idea what that is. That ruined a lot of jams for you. Interesting. It's S tier. If that's 2 more S tiers. What do you like about it, Houseplant Girl? Who, by the way, is a fellow Women's Guild member. And by the way, my featuring on the Women's Guild is featuring on the front page is thanks to the Women's Guild. I've had such a fantastic experience meeting so many Women's Guild members, and now having the opportunity to talk about fruits with them. You have a lingual bar, you will eat the butts off of raspberry. I put peach in the S tier. Peaches don't get stuck in your teeth. Mountain raspberries are very good. I've heard about mountain raspberries. If we're talking about peak food freshness, you'd put them at a B for seediness. So the chat was split S tier to C tier. I was comfortable putting them in a B tier with blackberries because of the seeds. I feel like blackberry has more meat to it, and despite the seeds, I feel like you're getting more like bang for your buck, but the flavor maybe isn't as bright as a raspberry. You know, you like the mouth texture. It is kind of pleasantly fuzzy. There is something pleasantly fuzzy about it. Oh, a lingual bar is a semi-permanent retainer on your lower front teeth. Interesting. Thank you for letting me know. I feel like an A tier is a good compromise. We have been getting a lot of positive reviews, so I will put it up here in A tier. For the community vote, which also takes very strongly my vote into consideration, I will put raspberries with the difficulty. I will shake things up at the very end of this. Just want you all to know. Screenshot this chart at the end, because at the end I'm going to show you my true thoughts and feelings. Raspberries and grapefruits will have a day of reckoning. All right. And green apples. No one's safe. Nobody is safe. And white grapes, frankly. I'm really going to switch it up on y'all. The betrayal is coming. Just so you know, I'm about to break everybody's hearts with these. So, the democracy is illusion, indeed. You'll get to see the nice Tina, and then you'll get to see the real me. It's coming out soon. But let's talk about starfruit. I am very intrigued by starfruit. I had it recently. Raspberries. I mean, the color of raspberries. So cute. That pink. The hot pink that they add to anything. So cute. Yeah. Let's talk about starfruit. Let's do it. Starfruit is like such a little cutie. And I have to say, I recently tried one. When I was a kid, I think I had one and maybe it wasn't ripe. I was unimpressed. I was a child at the time, so I was really looking for something that tasted like the night sky, basically. It was like, well, you're called a starfruit. You really got to do well. But the starfruit I had recently was very good. It was like a milder orange. It had that kind of citrusy tang to it, a little bit of sweetness, kind of a wateriness to it, but I think it aesthetically adds a lot to a fruit salad. It's very cute. They look horrendous. You think they look horrendous? What do you mean? The organoleptic quality of the starfruit is good because it's shaped like a pointing star. Can we pretend that the airplanes in the night sky are shooting stars? I really need a wish right now. Wish right now, Morphinius. You can't vote. You never tried it. If you've never tried it before, you can say in chat you've never had it. And if most folks have never, I mean, I'm gonna rate it based on my qualities. But yeah, our tier structure is off if we end up with 0 D's. I'm gonna put the real D's where they belong. Trust me. At the end of this, we're gonna get a real good understanding of what fruits are bad. You never tried it, but can you vote in the shape? Sure, if you want to. Why not? Pal fruit gives the starfruit a tier boost, right? The kind of Kingdom Hearts effect. Don't you want to share this with Kyrie? Don't you? Oh, wow. Blood orange is D for dog doo-doo. Wow. Well, you wish that raspberries were in the S tier. Well, yes, that's true. We can't all have what we want, I suppose. But you can do it on your own tier list. Once again, I will link that for you all. In case you're like desperate to make your own. And you can put it in the Discord or wherever you want to share it. You can at me on Twitter and be like, here's my real fruit tier list. Read 'em a weep. You know. Stardew Valley starfruit does look very yummy. And it's like the best fruit, isn't it? And like, you can make a bunch of starfruit wine in Stardew Valley. You're gonna be sitting pretty. You get to follow along. Yes, if you want to make your own tier list, absolutely follow along. So I'm seeing Mostly B tiers, a few D tiers. It's not going to be as pungent as a tangerine, as a blood orange, as a kumquat, as a grapefruit, as an orange. As a citrus fruit, it's kind of okay. It does have seeds in it, so you have to take that into consideration, but it's just a few seeds placed how you would imagine a lemon seed would place. You know, they're very at the center, so you can see them and dig them out with your thumbnail or something. No way that's D tier. Yeah, I think... And it seems like since we have so few votes that most people haven't had it before. But I have to tell you, I tried dragon fruit, I tried papaya, and I tried starfruit. And starfruit was the winner. Probably because I had gotten a bad papaya. But starfruit was the winner. Of all of those options. Starfruit, it was that girl. She was shining through. You would know where to get starfruit. I went to like a little specialty, one of those fun little markets that have very expensive cereals that don't taste like anything, you know? Like Cocoa Krispies. The Cocoa Krispies that have like a gorilla on the front of it, and like the peanut butter puffins. If you can find those, you might find the starfruit. Like Watery Nothing. It wasn't like nothing. Because it had a distinct citrus taste. It was like a very light orange flavor. So I'm comfortable putting starfruit over here in the B fruit tier. And we might reorganize these, by the way. Because I realized I can do that. I thought it was like alphabetically, but you can just scooch these little dudes around. Because you better believe grapefruit's down here. You better freaking believe. Oh. Anyway. You know, like a Whole Foods. Indeed. You're gonna be honest, you've never seen a starfruit in real life. It sounds like something from a sci-fi novel, right? You've seen Hy-Vee have them once in a while. If you have that around you, it's okay. That's a Midwest franchise. These are all subject to change. They will change like lightning at the end of this moment, Jackie. Like lightning, I will drag the grapefruit to hell where it belongs. It is a hell fruit. But let's talk about strawberries instead. I'm giving y'all the nice version, and then I'm gonna give it to you at the end. I'm gonna let you all vote and do all your business, but then I'll tell you how I really feel, and then everyone's gonna leave me. Just like in real life. Anyway, strawberries. Strawberries. What a kind fruit the strawberry is. I feel like it's one of the most, like, recognizable fruits. Everybody knows strawberry. Strawberry banana yogurt, strawberry jam on your peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Strawberry is like that friendly childhood fruit. I don't think it's a very mature fruit. I think raspberries are more mature fruits because it has that seed you gotta deal with. Sometimes strawberries in out of season can be very woody, or they're very like vitamin C forward. They have that sourness to them when they're out of season. But when you get a nice dark strawberry, it's very good. Yeah, they're classic. They're very classic. You know. Strawberry is a strong A. When you get a bad one, it is bad. It's very disappointing. But you can slice them, even when they're boring, you can slice them, soak them in sugar, and put it on a strawberry shortcake. Oh my god. One of my favorite family desserts is getting some angel food cake or a pound cake, macerating some strawberries, aka slicing them, putting them in a bowl, putting like a few teaspoons of sugar on it, and letting it just sort of mix the juices with the sugar. It makes a syrup. Then you can pour that over the pound cake so the juice soaks into the pound cake or the angel food cake or the shortcake. And then you drop some homemade whipped cream on top. That's good stuff. Without strawberries, it would just be a hat indeed. We gotta think about strawberry hat here, folks. Please don't hurt strawberry hat. Bad strawberries are pretty bad. Usually you can cut out the bad bits and the rest is fine. When they get a little slimy, that is disappointing. If you have a bad anything, it's terrible, but strawberries are precious, yeah. Okay. Mountain strawberries destroy the domestic ones. I've never had them. Go strawberry picking for a perfect date, says Bike. I love all of your creative suggestions. Like, go to a raspberry farm and pick the raspberries. Go to strawberry picking for a perfect date. I do love growing strawberries myself. I love going to the pot, and then you got a nice little friend that you're looking at every day. You see it start with that little tiny green berry, and it's starting to get bolder and bigger. Sometimes, though, you just wait so long, and it's like, oh, it's almost ripe. It's almost ripe. I don't want to pick it because it's almost there. It's like still blushing a little bit. It's not quite red. And then the next day, a freaking slug ate half of it. And you're like, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. All right. It's pretty much far and away from the community in S tier fruits. We got a few A tiers, 1 B tier, 1 C tier, no D tiers on strawberries. If you could send me some mountain strawberries, that would be great, Jackie. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they'd make it. Probably rot in the time. They're smaller, but the flavor is massive. Yeah. You saw a slug the size of your hand? That's a big slug. I would have a very grateful slug somewhere. The bunnies like eating them as well. It looks like strawberry joins the S tier for being kind of a comfy classic berry. I'm surprised. Depression, sadness, good to see you, by the way. I will let chat tell you why lemons are S tier, because I have described it again and again. But lemons are S tier. Absolutely. Because of their applications. You're new? Yes. Lemons, I mean, they improve everything. They're packed full of vitamins. They improve every food they touch. They're good for savory and sweet applications. The zest is very good. It's amazing. It's the most versatile fruit. Lemon butter sauce on your broccoli. Suddenly broccoli is edible. Lemon butter dipping for the artichokes. So good. Have it with lobster. Have it with chicken. Have it with your pork. You can slice a lemon in half, put it in a chicken, and that chicken is better. Inside the chicken while you're cooking it. And it's better. The lemon in the pepper, the lemon juice in the guacamole. Lemon juice, a little bit of it in your fruit salad. Keeps it from turning brown. Amazing. It's great. I know. Well, Harmless, I'm talking to the people who think that broccoli's challenging, okay? You and I know that broccoli's delicious. So. Lemon is as usable as figs and apples. Interesting. Interesting, Zavante. Strong feelings here. Strawberry's gonna join the pantheon of the S tier. Probably due to its applications in comforting food. I think strawberry is a very comforting food. Maybe not so much as a banana. The banana, I feel like it's literally a part of the brat diet. When you have a banana, you're not gonna have a tummy ache unless you're allergic to bananas. But literally, bananas, rice, applesauce, toast. Those are the things you're supposed to eat if you've had, like, food sickness, things like that. Strawberry's not quite there. However, I think it's a comfort food in terms of, like, jams. A little strawberry jam cookie. Love that. Strawberry shortcake. Strawberry lemonade. Again, lemon doing the work here. But strawberries are in so many beautiful, wonderful, comforting things. That I think... Now, we'll talk about broccoli in October, because I'm going to do another one of these, and it's going to be about vegetables, and I have to somehow find a vegetable shirt for this, because I had my apple shirt on yesterday. I need to look on Etsy, see if I can find a broccoli shirt or something. But, no, not January. We're not doing January. It's... Oh, I got it! Brocktober. Maybe? I don't know. Is that too broccoli forward? It's got to be a vegetable thing, so... maybe Brocktober, maybe Brock the Vote, like Rock the Vote, you know? An eggplant suit would be very funny. I don't usually have the broccoli. It's gotta have a little toothsomeness to it. I don't like mushy broccoli, but we're not talking about broccoli. We're talking about the humble strawberry. I do love a strawberry. It's a good fruit. I think it deserves to be up there with the rest of these. When you think fruit, you do think strawberry. When you need something flavored, strawberry's there for you. Strawberry syrup? Ooh, strawberry milk! Strawberry milk! Excuse me, go to the cafeteria line. I need you to travel back in time. Alright, you're at the cafeteria line, you got your weird turkey slices with the brown gravy and that mushy stuffing. And then you got your little side of very, very overboiled green beans. And you're like, oh, guess this is my food. And then... what's that? At the end, at the register, you see that tray of little cartons of milk, and you see the familiar little blue carton That's your plain milk. You see the brown cart and you think, oh, chocolate milk. What's that? This week they have strawberry milk? That's what you're picking up. That sweet treat that tastes nothing like strawberries whatsoever. You're bringing that back so you can have a good time eating your miserable hot meal. Strawberry milk. Strawberry smoothie. Strawberry ice cream. Haagen-Dazs. Strawberry ice cream? You can't go wrong. I don't think I've had a bad strawberry ice cream. When we vote for veggies, you're 100% taking Saiyan warriors into account. Yes. Carrots are getting a big bump. True. Kakarot. So yeah, orange should be at the top with strawberries and bananas. Unfortunately, community did not think so. And you know why? I think I've had a lot of bad oranges. You never liked the specific strawberry milk they had at your school, but you were a fiend for the store-bought stuff, right? You're ready to fight on my bike? Let's talk tangerines. I agree, Naja. Let's talk about tangerines. Let's get the poll going. Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man. Play a song for me. That's not the song. It should be tambourine, but you know what I mean. B, C, and D. Let's get the votes. What a friendly little creature the tangerine is. What an approachable, perfectly sized snack. Put a tangerine in your little box. Bring it to work. Bring it to school. Bring it on a picnic. You can have 3. And it's got great fiber in it. Delightfully punchy, very, very powerful forward flavor, you know, and it's those cute little segments, tiny little fingers, and it pulls apart so easy. You can peel it a lot easier than a grape. You just need to stab your thumb through it, just like bink, and then you're good to go. Just a little bink, and then you can start pulling it back. Orange, you probably gotta get a knife for that. You know, you can't be using your thumbnail to cut open an orange. You gotta get the knife, cut it into the 4 sections. Little cross, then peel it, then you have the fingers. Or you can cut it into boats. Oranges are cute in boats. That's how my grandpa used to eat them. But the tangerine is so accessible. It is the banana of citrus fruits, I feel, because of its accessibility. You like pulling the little white springs off them. Apparently that's where most of the vitamins and fiber is. Apparently. If you had to eat any fruit by itself, it would be the tangerine, right? I got them downstairs. I could bring them up here. And they're good prepared. Have you had the little segmented ones? I don't know how they do it at Dole, but they're segmenting those. They take the skin off of it, that little like protective layer, and it's like, ooh, I'm so vulnerable and delicious. And you just like bite down and you're eating just the flesh, not the container of it, not that little thin membrane. You're just eating the delicious, vulnerable tangerine. The little mandarin orange cup. So good. Anyway, that's the tangerine. It's a good fruit. And like I said, 3 of those, and you're just yummying down on it. Not the small bean. Peel tangerine. Peel tangerine sounds like a great Lalafell name. It's a little too sweet. You're not huge on citrus fruits by themselves. Gotcha. Tangerines in a fruit salad? Yes. Very good in a fruit salad. We've got 5 S tiers, 7 A tiers, 1 B tier, 2 C tiers, no D tiers. No one's like, tangerine's the worst. What in the heck is that? What the heck is that? What the hell is there some weird Lollipop meeting? Fruit salad, yummy indeeds. And on my bike unlocked a comfort memory. Tangerines in a fruit salad or ambrosia. Comfy. Very comfy. So good. You love scraping and eating the fiber? I kind of do too. I think it's the neurodivergence inside me. Orange was S tier forever, but you understand the choices illusion. You know what girl who reminds you of Cher? She's always changing the color of her hair. She don't use nothing that you buy at a store. She likes her hair to be real. Hair to be real orange. She uses tangerines. Is that the name? Is that a song? Is that an advertisement? You open regular oranges with your nails, Naja? I try, but you know, I'm worried about breaking my nails. You're gonna go A because you've had some flavorless tangerines recently. It can sit next to the orange. It looks like the community has voted A, which I can get with. I can say that's fine. You like the list so far, Heather? It's because you got good taste. Let's see how all the votes shook out. It's a high A. I'd probably put it, I mean, personally, I'd put it well above a green apple. But we'll deal with that later. pineapple at S. It's so good. Oh, my bike is so good. It's the fruit that eats you back. I love it. I love the audacity of the pineapple. And the nectar, that sweet, almost cloying sweetness of the pineapple when it's good and ripe. Boy, so good. Tangerines, I am going to put it A tier, certainly. And we'll relitigate this little list here. We'll shuffle these around so I can show you what I think, and also according to your feelings as community, what should be where. But tangerines feel right. Tangerines feel right. They're great. I'm never going to say no to a tangerine. If I'm hungry and I want a snack, it's going to be a tangerine. Because it's like, oh, easy. Peel, chuck it out. The skin is so thin. So lovely. So lovely. Please put them up at S. It was bending towards S. It would be like a high A, low S. What do we think? Do we think it belongs in S tier? The folks who voted A, would you agree it to be S tier? What's the downgrade? What's the downside of a tangerine? I didn't hear it out. What's the downside? Is there sometimes a seed in it? Do you ever get one that sometimes is a seed? I always look to make sure. But you know. If oranges aren't S tier, tangerines should be there. If bananas are there, so must tangerines be. The snackability of a tangerine might push it to S. Seasonal availability, they're a little small. I think the smallness is part of the charm. You know, sometimes the ones you get in supermarkets don't taste, you know, that bright. I getcha. Let's let orange and tangerine hold hands. I'll at least put them together so they're together, defending each other. Yeah, the smallness to me is a positive. The flavor inconsistency, I see. Sometimes maybe they're not as like powerful. I do kind of like having like 2 or 3 tangerines at once. One's really forward and the other one is a little more subtle. And then I can appreciate both of them, you know. It does not have diversity in terms of applications elsewhere. Yeah, I'm not really seeing tangerine jams. Folks are talking about how it's great in a fruit salad, but what other applications do we see for tangerines? I don't really see them elsewhere. You live in a black hole fruit state. Does that mean you don't get a lot of great fresh produce? Is that it? It's good cap off after breakfast? Yes. But if it's super juicy, it tastes like water. You finish it because you're not wasting food, but you're like, oh. Yeah, I'll finish it as well if it's really watery. But I'm probably gonna eye the rest of the bowl of tangerines because you get them in a big bag. Usually. You're not buying like a tangerine usually. You're getting a few of them. The closest you had was a tangerine marmalade, which was fantastic. Okay. Mexican tangerine soda is wildly delicious. Interesting. Yeah, the tangerine does feel like the opposite of a lemon. It's delightful in and of itself, isn't it? We delight in the tangerine. In the moment, in the enjoyment of having that little guy. But you're not really going, let me zest this tangerine. Let me squeeze this tangerine somewhere else. If you weren't worried about it, you'd throw it out, trash, immediately in the garbage. But it does still have the fiber and some vitamin content. So you finish the tangerine usually, you know. You don't like that you can't get like half a bag. You're only one person in cage. Yeah. It's kind of a job if you're on your own. If you're living single on your own or just you and one other person, then it is a job to get through the tangerines. You do have to sit there and eat a lot of them. Oranges, you can at least cut them up, you know. Maybe store them in the fridge. Oranges that you can usually buy one on its own or a few on its own if you navel oranges on its own. But the tangerine, you get it in like a crate. In a big bag. Tangerine, is it Jarritos? Is it, oh, it's Yarritos? Is it Yarritos? Tell me about this. This is a word I don't know. I think I'm pronouncing this wrong. It's not Jarritos. Tell me what it is. I don't know what it is. Jarritos. It's a soda brand. Okay. I'm sorry. I've never experienced it before. Jarritos Bangs. Okay. I'm not a big soda fan myself. I don't drink any soda. I don't like the carbonation of it, but I trust in you all. We've got a few good melons left to get through. Raisins might be controversial. I'm honestly, as Alex pointed out last night, why are raisins even here? They're just dried grapes. But perhaps they are so distinct from grapes that we have to rate them differently. Otherwise, people might rate grapes worse if they hate raisins. So, what are they here for? I think it's to, like, give raisin haters something to talk about. I don't know. We're going to get to it, though. Where are the craisins? Yeah, if you're going to have raisins, why not craisins? Why not have dried versions of every fruit? You know. Yeah, raisins do last longer than grapes because they're preserved. But it's almost 7 p.m. I might take an early break to get up, stretch. I gotta feed my dog. I really want to get into watermelon. And I think there are some honeydew haters out there. And I'm gonna have a word with you because I feel very strongly about honeydew. But I'm getting so hungry talking about these that I need a little snack break. I'm gonna get my dog's food ready for her. Watermelon 100% S tier. I agree, but I think there's some folks that think it's too watery. You're ready for chat to disappoint. I'm worried about it, Devontae, and I might take my executive power to push watermelon higher. It may not be, I may not legally. If chat votes it for a D tier, I'm gonna drag it up as many points as possible. But it is the summer fruit, yeah. We're gonna get to watermelon when I come back. I've got to leave you on a cliffhanger for right now, but I do need to take a quick break, so I will be right back. But I'm happy to be here with you all. I'm happy to be discussing fruit. We are now back from the break. You blame the ham. She really wanted that ham, so that's fine. Yeah, Miitopia is so fun. Actually, I was watching this like long play, no commentary thing for Miitopia, and I was like, wouldn't it be so cute to put people from the community in it? I thought about people putting in people's Warriors of Lights so that y'all don't have to show me like a picture of yourself. You could just screenshot your little Warrior of Light or whatever video game character you would like to represent you. That might be a fun thing to do in January. You know, we'll see. Anywho, we are here not to talk about Miitopia, not to talk about Final Fantasy XIV or other Final Fantasy properties. Justice to the raspberry and the passion fruit. Where do you think passion fruit should be, Galleons? I haven't had one. So really, I haven't had one in a very long time. So it's really up to chat's votes. But we're talking about watermelon. I'm going to put the poll up for watermelon. I hope you all have had sufficient time to think about it during the break. But while you consider your vote, let me just tell you about the historical importance of the watermelon in America. Watermelons were the way that freed slaves, many of them, got to buy their freedom, got to secure their financial independence by farming watermelons. Did you know that? It was the crop of the South. And they were produced so well, so beautifully that they sold extremely well. And these families got the chance to either buy their own freedom or secure their own freedom and not have to go back to working on other people's farms, be able to have a self-sustained lifestyle of freedom, your own humanity, being your own person through the sale of their watermelons. So it is the crop of the South. It is extremely historically important crop, and besides that, it's delicious. But I thought I'd give you that little piece of history if you were thinking, you know, putting it between a B tier. Maybe that'll bump it up to an A tier for you. It is a freedom fruit. Yeah, it's a freedom fruit. So the big one. A really great watermelon is easily S tier. However, says Quantum. All right. It's a pain to pick a ripe one and then cut it up. I always buy, when I get watermelon, I buy the wedge. It's like a quarter of a watermelon, maybe. So when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the red. And I'm saying that's ripe and delicious and beautiful. So that's for me. I'm not buying a big watermelon. I'm not coming home with that big pumpkin-sized watermelon. You didn't know that, but that's all the reason you need for S tier. For me, I like to bring the historical importance of certain fruits to you all, like the date. The date is the cradle of humanity. You better be grateful to the date. Because when the climate comes back around, we'll all just be like, man, remember when we had other fruits? Thank goodness we at least have dates, you know? So, Watermelon S tier. Hey, arf, 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 arf. Sweet, juicy, fresh, summertime. Summertime watermelon. Did you know you can freeze chunks of watermelon, then put them in your blender with a little bit of lime juice, and you have sorbet now. You just have sorbet. Congratulations. You didn't have to go through all that effort. All you did was cube watermelon, then freeze it, and then put it into a blender. And then you have a delicious, no sugar added sorbet. Delightful. You could slice it into sticks, put popsicles in it, and then put those in the freezer. A nice little, no mess, no fuss popsicle treat. Or just cube it up and eat it. Or just slice it and eat it. We cube it, we put it in a fruit salad around here. My dad, when we would get the wedge of watermelon from the store, my mom always said, let's cut the most exterior extreme of it off because we don't really know about the handling of it. So what my dad would do is he'd cut the thinnest slice off of both sides of the wedge. Not the rind side, obviously, but the 2 points of the triangle. He'd cut those off. And unbeknownst to him, I would eat them. Even though they were dirty, I would eat those and they were like delicious, delectable chips. It was a sweet chip, so crisp, so thin, so perfect. I don't think I've ever had watermelon like that, but like, oh. It's actually wild how much it can feel a little better, right? Lately, I've been cutting them into long skewers. That's fun. You get a lot more melon out of it, right? It's the dragon fruit and melon stew nut, except for it's all water instead of its aesthetic. Are you coming for the aesthetic of the watermelon? Do you not see her stripes? And then the bold red in the center with black seeds? You think that's not aesthetic? I think it's because it's maybe overexposed. It's everywhere. She's like the Britney Spears. You see her everywhere, but like, she's got it going on. You know. Let's see here. So, 8 S tier, 7 A tier, 2 D tier, 1 B tier. Can I ask those of you who voted D tier, are you outside the United States? I wonder if you're getting good melons. I wonder if you're getting imported melons or something. Where are you getting your melons from? It does seem y'all have never had a bad watermelon. I think it's because they grow in such abundance here. Even to this day, the watermelons, I feel like a farm is a farm because it has watermelons on it. And in the fall, it'll have pumpkins. It's got tomatoes. It's got tomatoes and watermelon for sure. They're happy to wheel them out to you. Their only other object to make Christmas colors, not just Christmas. Red and green. Beautiful. And the white as well. Watermelons are so physically identifiable too. And they make a cute little print. Oh, if you had a little bathing suit that was watermelon. Prove your hatred. Let the hatred flow through you. From the supermarket. But why get a watermelon when we can get a honeydew? Because you want the watermelon flavor. You will flex your A up to an S for the team. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to hear the detractors because you also have a fun little game built into the watermelon. You can spit the little seeds out. See how far you can spit them. Sit on the porch with your cousins, all of them, from the age of 2 to the age of 22. Sit on the porch with your cousins to see who spits the farthest seed. That's fun. That's just fun right there. That's good old-fashioned. We don't have any money, but hey, we're having a good time fun. You've definitely had bad watermelon, but you've had more good watermelon than you've had good cherries. Love that emote, by the way, Devontae. You get honeydew, cantaloupe, and watermelon slices at the grocery store. Yeah. The seeds are not a positive to you, but you can see them. You know they're there. You can see them right away. They did you a favor. When you're looking at a lemon and you slice it, it's white, it's difficult to see. Sometimes it's packed in so hard and the rind is so dark you can't see it. But you're slicing up the watermelon, you're seeing all the seeds. They're right there. They're like, hello, how's it going? Yeah, if you want to plant me, you can get another one of me. Or like 80,000 of me, because I'm here. But okay, if you want to spit me out, that's fine too. You know. And many of them are seedless. Yeah. Watermelons were in a Magic School Bus episode. Not an honor that every fruit has had. She's a celebrity, isn't she? Miss Frizzle approves of watermelons. Interesting. You're kind of astounded that chat chose apricot as C tier, yeah. You know who is a dear friend of yours now? Arf, 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 arf. Quantum Witcher. Quantum Witcher is a huge apricot advocate. An apricot advocate, one would say. So it's sweet and so fresh. The seeds add a little charm, I agree. Miss Frizzle is your ultimate Halloween costume. I like to just buy clothes and I'm like, Miss Frizzle would wear this when she's undercover, when she's trying to tone it down a bit. Watermelon. Now, you're not going to see dried watermelon. But, have you had watermelon in a drink? Because at Aldi's, you can get watermelon cranberry juice. And it's the song of the summer. Let me tell you. Move Over Padam Padam by Kylie Minogue. Hello, watermelon cranberry juice from Aldi's. I think when you think fruit, you gotta think watermelon. You gotta think watermelon. I think chat's got the right of it. It's an S tier fruit. Oh, yes, I heard you can just cut a hole in it and put some booze in it. Pomegranate isn't on the list to sort. Yes, it is. It's right here. Bing, bing, bing. Right at C, because it's a mess. And the seeds? The seeds are like so... If a watermelon had a seed in it as big as pomegranates have seeds in it, the seed would be a pit. And it would kill you. It would be a blunt force bludgeoning object. Watermelons at least have like proportionate seeds. You know? Oh, you're good, Arf. We've been doing this for 7 hours now. I know not everyone can keep track of this. And if you join in now, you're like, what is this conversation we've had? Very, very intense conversations about fruit. If there was no watermelon, there would be no watermelon Starburst. Great points. The confections that are watermelon flavored are incredible. S tier watermelon doesn't look right for you, but you can forsake the bad ones for the good and appreciate those godlike watermelons that you've had. It just feels like it's the final salute to summer, the watermelon. It feels like a childhood summer spent playing Super Mario Sunshine. It's those tender memories of it being a little warm and you're wearing your shorts and you're wearing your little tank top and you're sticky with watermelon juice, and finally you have your own wedge all to yourself. And you get to sit there on the porch with somebody else, somebody bigger than you, looking up at them. You're taking a little moment to spit the seed out and you're listening to the crickets and you're eating your watermelon. And you know what? It's gonna be okay. Who knows what's coming tomorrow? But in this moment, you've got the bugs and the bees. You've got your big person beside you. You've got the sunset slowly fading. And you've got a watermelon slice all of your own. And it's gonna be okay. So let's talk about honeydew, shall we? You also think chat has never had fresh pomegranate. Probably just a sour drink. They're very sweet when they're ripe. Isn't that so? I'm telling you. That is part of the organoleptic quality of watermelon, by the way. Is the memory sensory experience. Iconic. Imagine if you had a honeydew slice. I have honeydew inside. But watermelon's an outside fruit too. Genuine emotion, this fight is everything. I got my stake in this game. I'm in this. I'm serious about this. I'm giving this conversation my all. Okay? I'm giving this everything. Every ounce of focus in my brain goes to this. So, now hold on. What was all this, to be fair? Thank you for gifting us up to arf 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 arf. You know arf 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 arf. And also, to be fair, I have this deck of fairy cards that have affirmations on it, and you know, this one is letting go. What a beautiful fairy. Letting go. Reaching to the sky, the moon behind her. It almost looks like walls of ice as well. Let me see what letting go is all about for you. You're seeing persimmon in the never had this tier. I would love to have a persimmon. The best watermelon is slightly better than the best honeydew, but overall you think honeydew trumps it. Okay, we're gonna get to honeydew in 1 second. Let me, y'all think about honeydew and talk amongst yourselves while I see what letting go means. letting go. You may not be receiving positive results right now because you're struggling too much to solve the problem. By letting go, you're opening yourself up to a miraculous resolution. It says, I'm willing to surrender this situation. When I let go, everything turns out perfectly. Maybe there's something like how I'm ranking fruit that you can live and let live. There are several varieties of persimmon. Some are a bit more rigid on the inside. You like the ones that are kind of gooey. Yeah, I've heard it's kind of gooey and custardy. What is FFA fruit boxes? Oh, is that the farm to table stuff? Like a co-op? I want to do that myself. All right, honeydew voting time. God, I love honeydew. But I do want to hear from the detractors. If anyone's got anything negative to say about honeydew, this is a safe space. I won't ban you, I promise you. I will argue with you, but I won't ban you. Alrighty, 3 minutes to vote on honeydew. We do not often turn things into what they're not. Letting go can clear it up. Good point. Arf, 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 arf. Can I call you? Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll call you Arf to the 8th degree. If you have a box of assorted fruits, do you go for the honeydew fruit first? I see honeydew often on my bike in those bouquets, and I feel like those like Edible Arrangements is the company that does these bouquets, and they always pick underripe honeydews, which from a purely visual or optical angle, it's very difficult to tell if a honeydew is ripe or not ripe until it's in your mouth. That could be very challenging. So you get the edible arrangement, you pop it in your mouth, dang, it's unripe honeydew. Maybe the one next if it's ripe. You don't know. Eightfold path of Marxism. I like that. That was the old way to get seasonal fresh fruit, and the good way too, Jackie. You can still do that. You're torn between A tier and S tier. What's keeping you? What would hold it back? Yeah, honeydew. You know, I don't usually eat honeydew in a slice. I usually eat honeydew cubed up or melon balls. Watermelon I'll eat in a slice. Isn't it so great that watermelon just like, it doesn't have that, honeydew and cantaloupe have that big weird pit of seeds in the center. But it is nice that it's discreet. It's in one package, you just scoop it out with a spoon, then you can cut it and you don't have to worry about seeds and stuff. Yeah. The good thing about honeydew is that unless it's severely underripe, it's still good. It's okay. I'd say an underripe honeydew is okay. But it is disappointing. So much underripe honeydew and cantaloupe at hotel breakfast bars. Yeah, they'll just cut it up and they don't care. They'll just put it out there. They don't care. You need to go to Taco Bell. Okay. Wait, I have Taco Bell. I need to get up your butt. Okay. Good luck with that, Devontae. Maybe don't go that way. I find it best as ingested instead of a suppository, but see what works for you. You voted B tier, did you? Just Game Hero. Why is that? Honeydew is higher than cantaloupe, but you're not sure it's S tier. Okay, let's see the ranks. Right now we have 6 votes for S tier, 6 votes for A tier, 3 for B, 1 for C, and 1 for D. You'll turn sideways. There you go. See how that goes. Honeydew along with watermelon is a summer slice. Yeah. Okay, it's tied between S and A tier. I want to hear from everybody. Even the C tier and D tier folks. Because I'm with you. Sometimes you get an underripe honeydew and it's like, whatever. But it's not bad. And let's see. As for honeydew, chat, have a fresh one with some yogurt and honey. I've never, I've only had it either in a fruit salad or on its own. I've never really paired it, but I think honey is a great accompaniment to the honeydew. I think that would bring out its kind of honeysuckle-like flavor. Which of y'all voted D tier? No violence, Pinecone. This might be a fate. This might be a fight, but there's no violence. You got to vote, and one of the mods wanted you to vote for S tier. Uh-oh. Oh, how could you, Keen? How could you shirk your duty here? It's S tier because it's a fruit, and fruit is very good. It is very fruity. Also, maybe controversial, but you don't think underripe honeydew should even be considered. Interesting. Honeydew is basically a green cantaloupe. I think they have different flavor profiles. I think they have wildly different flavor profiles. And I kind of like it when a honeydew is like in your face. When a honeydew almost has like a sharpness to it, it's so floral that it's almost like you just want to like with some perfume like right in your mouth. You're like, I'm gonna try this. You sprayed perfume in your mouth. It's very strongly perfumed, I think. Underripe fruit is a user error. True. You can't blame fruit. You know what? And I did take that into consideration for papaya. You're right about that, Twaffo. It's a user error situation. Yeah. You're basing on peak fruit flavor and functionality. Although I do have to say we have based some things on like often are like an orange can sometimes be unpleasant. Even if it is ripe, it's like, oh, it's a dry orange or whatever. I think the ananas melon and canary melon. I think I had a canary melon before. They're deeply yellow inside, aren't they? Don't think I've had an ananas melon. Honeydew mouth perfume, isn't it though? When it's a really ripe and strongly flavored honeydew, it's like you took some perfume, some great perfume, some very floral perfume, and just went, because it really is like stingy almost when it's strongly flavored, but it's not a bad thing. I live for that. I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah. Give me another scoop of that. Give me more of that funkiness, you know. And I'm glad, Quantum, that you and ARF to the 8th power discussing cognitive science and ontology. Love that. So S and A tier is what we have come up with as a community. I might be the deciding factor. I'm trying to think. I think we had like maybe 3 B tiers, 1 C tier, 1 D tier. So this skews positive. It's the curve is higher. You know, we're up higher on the curve than the low stuff. Honeydew doesn't have a very strong flavor to you. Interesting. I think it's because it's more on the floral side of things than it is on like the acidic side of things. So it's not very strong in acid. You would go A tier if I demoted cantaloupe to B. If watermelon is S, we can't let honeydew wallow in A. This is interesting. Then, because I don't know if we can have a king of melons among the watermelon, the honeydew, and the cantaloupe. Pinecone paid you $73 to vote S in the tiebreaker, or is that so? I'll have a chat with Pinecone. Honeydew's kind of a filler fruit for you, so you avoid it. I see. Mars Raptor, welcome back. Mars, how do you feel about honeydew? You might be a deciding factor here. I ultimately will be I gotta think. If I had a cantaloupe and a honeydew in front of me, what would I think I'd eat the honeydew first. I do love cantaloupe, but I think if I had a bowl of mixed cantaloupe and honeydew, I think the first thing I'd try is a little fork of the honeydew. I do think the honeydew is a little better than the cantaloupe. Just a little, though. I do love the kind of gourdy melonness of the cantaloupe. Now, Mars. The fairies have a message for you, and there's a problem resolved. I'll show you this gal. She's got a snake crawling around her. She's got a pretty butterfly wings, so that's fun. She's on some sort of like coastal area, it looks like. She looks very concerned, but maybe not about the snake. If you demote cantaloupe, you're unfollowing. Oh no. Alright, let me tell what was this one called? It was called Problem Resolved. Okay, let's see here. Problem resolved. An issue that's been bothering you, Mars, is being healed behind the scenes. The solution is creative, ingenious, and is a joyous surprise for you. Your affirmation is, I ask that all effects of mistakes and misunderstandings be undone, both in the past and the present. Wow, of course you'd put watermelon down there, Nat. Honeydew is kind of king. Keen, see you in a bit. They're all really good. Watermelon, honeydew, and cantaloupe. I think honeydew belongs at least in the A tier. Let's see. I think a honeydew is on par with a great orange. But I do also think it's on par with a watermelon. And it's certainly better than a raspberry, personally. And it's certainly better than a green apple. Is a honeydew... I feel like the cantaloupe is right where it is. Well, I'm gonna put this here for 1 second. I'm gonna keep scrolling. I lost chat for a sec. The cantaloupe, I feel like it's right where it is. There's a powderiness to the exterior of the cantaloupe that you can never quite get clean. So it's like, oh. The honeydew, it's a nice smooth exterior. I feel like you get a lot off the honeydew. I feel like it honestly is a very thin rind, thinner than a watermelon. Like in terms of like scooping all the way down, I think you're getting a lot out of a honeydew. Dates in A tier because it is important to the civilization. The basis of civilization is dates, Mars. They go back millennia. All right, they were old news by the time the Bible rolled out. Okay, Jesus was eating dates. They were all snacking on dates and being like, man, if only we could make a human-made confection as good as dates. We'll never get there. And now we have candy. But still. We can do raisins next for the drama. I'm trying to think. I do feel like honeydew and figs are the highest A tier, potentially S tier. And so are good oranges and good tangerines. I might even start dragging these over now. Because I really feel, and they might switch around, but I really feel like there's something about a really good cantaloupe, a really good honeydew. Fig is S. Do you think figs are S tier? They're A tier here. I do love dried figs. And I only recently had fresh figs. Yeah. The cantaloupe and the Spanish cured ham, I have heard it's really good. Use to snack on dates and wasabi peas. Should we maybe reorganize the tiers to freshen up our perspective? Should we do that before we get to raisins? I will do it eventually. Figs and honey are amazing on pizza. Yeah, they're good with goat cheese. Let's see. What else? I mean, avocado's gotta be up towards the front because of its godlike applications. Kiwi and lime as well. I'm trying to think if I'd put... I've had some really bad kiwis. Plum's gotta be up here as well. Maybe white grapes next. Oh, blueberries. Love the baking applications of blueberries. Dates. I'll always go for a date. Probably more so than a plum. If you got dates in your house, don't invite me over. You won't have dates anymore. I'll warn you now. Coconuts. Cocoa nuts. The oil. Again, where as a civilization will we be without the oil? Fig, I'm also going to move up right to... Because I've never had a fresh date, I'm going to put it in front of the fig because of the fresh applications and the dried applications. Those medjool dried dates. Figs are C tier, they can have wasps in them? Yeah. I'm willing to take that. Come on over and eat them dry and crunchy. I'll have the dry ones, the ones that are kind of woody, and I will have the weird sticky ones. I love them all. I love them when they're stuck together because they're so sticky. So good. Anyway, I think I'd put raspberry above a green apple because I like the drink applications. Green apple, y'all are wild for this one. That one's, as soon as I can change this, I will. Now, B tier, reorganizing this. I think strawberry, let me go back to S tier. I'm going to put it like this. And this is S++, S++, etc., etc., etc. Maybe even banana higher up. I don't know. Sticky ones are the best, right? As if going far over dead wasp meat isn't the metalest thing ever. Yeah. Let's see. The pear's gotta rank high because pear juice is in every fruit juice you enjoy. Just so you know, if it says it's 100% pear, if it's 100% fruit juice, I'm telling you it's not 100% whatever you think it is. It's got pear cocktail in it. You owe a lot to pears, okay? Now, in terms of the rest, I think nectarines. I would enjoy a nectarine snack. I would, and the grapes as well. Again, my experience with lychees is the gummies. So they're kind of in nebulous territory. Papayas, cranberries are great for baking and what is more fall. I have a cranberry shirt, which also has strawberries and whatnot on it. So like, and cherries. Should have worn that today. Why am I wearing this dress? Pete's sake. Cranberries are niche, but they're also very American, I have to say. And like, I don't know why I'm like this nationalist person who's like, watermelon, cranberry, woo, 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 USA, USA. But I'm like, I'm just telling you historically, you know. I've never had red currants before, and so you could say was the same with chat because most people in chat hadn't had them. We rated them low. Pears ran out of fruit cocktail, true. Pear should be A tier at least. It was very divisive. It was very divisive. We talked about this yesterday more, Phineas. A lot of people don't like the graininess of a pear, which I understand. Let's see. The rest of B seems right to me. And I'd put passion fruit up here. Personally, I've never had a black currant, so I can't rate the rest. I might move apricot up. And I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. We're leaving it. Okay. For the drama, on my bike said, let's talk raisins. I'm ready to talk raisins. I'll read the rest you have to say about cranberries, etc. It's a watermelon dress. Oh my god, it is. Let me just check out this watermelon dress for a second. Hold on now. Look at this. Americana. Anyway, whatever. Raisin time. Graininess like pre-ripe pears, they get soft and stringy after they fully ripen. So that's taking bites out of unripe supermarket fruit. Listen, sometimes they're hard, but some pears get grainier the more ripe they get. It's not a problem for me though. That moment when you take a bite of a cookie, it looks like it has chocolate chips and it's got raisins instead. That moment makes your entire month. I love raisins. I'm a raisin apologist. We're gonna get into it. Let's talk about raisins. Here comes the poll. I know there's some raisin haters out there. There's some raisin, I used to be a hater and I just don't care about it anymore. Raisins. Yogurt covered raisins. Chocolate covered raisins. Raisins in your oatmeal. Raisins in your cookies. Your oatmeal cookies. An oatmeal raisin cookie is a staple in my household for Christmas time. If you're getting cookies from me, I give cookies to local firemen. I give them to our pharmacists, the people who prepare medications. I give them to my neighbors. They're getting oatmeal raisin cookies. And several others, but there's going to be one big oatmeal raisin cookie, maybe two, depending on how big the box is I'm giving you. Raisin Bran cereal. You're pretending you're healthy, but that's a very sugary cereal, but it's really good. You know? Raisins as a little snack, the little Sun-Maid boxes, you know? Once this tier list is finished, we should check the sales numbers on these fruits and see if the country agrees. I think stuff like a lychee or rambutan or a star fruit, it's going to be very low in the sales. Your big top tier ones are going to be banana, strawberry, watermelon. Here in the US, the lemon, of course, is going to be king. People are buying these fruits because they're using these fruits. I never understood the like, oh no, it looks like chocolate. Raisin, you gotta talk to your optometrist, okay? You need glasses worse than I do. If you're looking at a raisin, it looks like a chocolate chip. I've never seen a raisin and thought, is that chocolate? What kind of wrinkly dinkly chocolate chips are you working with? Where are you getting these? Are you storing your chocolate chips under the oven? Are you putting it in the warming drawer? Is that why they're wrinkly? How old are your chocolate chips if they look like raisins? That's wild. It's wild to me. Don't talk to me about this nonsense. That's just bumper sticker t-shirt nonsense. All right? You're like, "Oh no, raisins." Hot Topic t-shirt nonsense is this whole raisins chocolate confusion. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You think lychee's more popular than I think? I've never seen them in a store before, Mars, but I am on the East Coast, so you can cook with raisins. Tell me about the cooking applications of raisins, Sylvia. I'd love to hear it. True, lychee imports to LA and New York are big, though. Interesting. Probably is higher than the red currant, yeah. Seeing a lot of raisin love, so you'll silently voice your hatred for that disappointment in fruit shape. What's disappointing about it? You want to say it's hilarious that raisins are about to go A when red grapes are B tier? Exactly, Nox. I don't understand. Sometimes you just grab a cookie, but then you should be grateful for that cookie. Don't look a gift cookie in the mouth. Put it in your mouth and eat it. And be content because you're eating something that's high fiber. So, S tier has 3 votes. A tier has 7 votes. B tier has 7 votes. C tier has 1. And D tier has 2. Personally, I think a raisin's going to be a B tier for me. It's good. And it's a nice dried application for fruit. I'd say a date beats it by far. A fig beats it by far. There's a lot of sugar, I think, added to it. The date is sugar in itself. We learned yesterday the dates, when dried, are 61 to 68% naturally occurring sugar already. It's like, by mass, it's mostly sugar. Figs are usually honeyed to preserve them. Raisins, I think, are dried and sweetened. So, growing up on trail mix, oh yeah, I do love good old Gorp. With the R in there is the raisins. Looks like 8 B tier and 7 A tier, making it very close. Very, very close. And we also have, again, 2 D tier, 1 C tier. So it skews high. This is skewing high. It's skewing kind of high mid, I'd say. Y'all have sugars to your raisins? They're really sweet here in the US. Where's the drama? Not a lot of drama, Bike. A lot of talk in the chat about, oh no, I thought it was a raisin, but it was a chocolate chip or whatever. But maybe they're too busy talking to show up to the polls. This is why voting's important. You know? Sugar, it's a sugar in the raisins, Morphinius. But if you eat Raisin Brands, it's also sugar on the raisins and in the raisins. Don't look at the nutritional facts of Sugar Brand or Raisin Bran, because it is Sugar Brand. Yeah, it's pumped up. They are making it go wild. It is not, I repeat. And they also then glaze the flakes. It's probably sugarier than Reese's Puffs, honestly. Dates are D tier to you, Streamlines. I can't. Dates got me through such a tough time. But we've got the majority of B tier for raisins is what it's looking like. As a dried fruit, I feel like that's a pretty high accomplishment. And again, I would put them below a fig or a date. I don't know if I'd put them a whole stage below. Yeah, I'm not getting it either, Mars, but I'm a raisin enjoyer. So 90% of the time you eat just bran flakes. But sometimes, yeah, I do like, there's the chew that a raisin adds. I really think raisins add a great chew to things. They're great in oatmeal when you don't want to add extra sugar, but you do want a little fruity chew to it. The raisin's perfect for that. You cook it alongside the oat so it rehydrates. Or you could throw it in late and you get that nice concentrated, you move it. You can feel it almost like a ball bearing in your mouth moving, orbiting the tooth as you chew down on it and you're kind of mushing it back into the paste. That's the experience of a raisin to me, is that like this kind of motion, the chewing, the enjoying. I think that's really good. They're also very popular in Middle Eastern cuisine. I've seen them in rices, I think. Big raisins with seeds in them? I don't think I've ever had a big raisin that has seeds in it. Rhizome tier 1. Would that be for the potatoes and whatnot? Give drunk people a mixed bag of chocolate and raisins. They'll all be eaten, but they couldn't tell you which one they had. Are people drunk eating raisin cookies and being like, what's going on? What is happening? The raisins only have sugar on them when they're in like a trail mix. Okay. Let me see. Now, I'm not seeing raisin flavored things. Oh, wait a minute. Garibaldi cookies. No, that's not a raisin flavor thing. But let's talk about squash fly biscuits or Garibaldi biscuits. That's an old people cookie right there. And it's a fun one too. Honestly, it's kind of good. Have you ever had a Garibaldi biscuit or a squash fly biscuit? I hate the name squash fly biscuit, but like, that's good stuff. Bread pudding with rice. Bread pudding with raisins and rice pudding with raisins. That's standard. That is standard. Oh, ginger's a rhizome. Yeah. What else goes on the rhizome list though? Sunchokes? Maybe? Go for a walk. Alrighty, Jackie. Have a good walk. Was tomato considered for this list? I did not create this list. And if it was on this list, it'd be S tier. Tomato is an S tier fruit. We will talk about tomatoes ranking in the vegetable thing, however, I'm sure. But they are technically biologically fruit. Cinnamon raisin bread. Does that push raisins to A tier? Sultanas, yeah, I've seen those in like pilafs and stuff. Cinnamon raisin tier. You agree tomatoes are S tier? I think so too. They're an S tier fruit, but I guess in fruit applications, maybe not. So when it comes to veg, though, I mean, everything you love has a tomato in it. Don't even get me started. Because we'll talk about it in October, okay? I'll pick a day. I'll probably pick 2 days because these conversations go long. Does raisin belong in A tier? For my B tier voters, can I hear from you all what dragged raisins down? What's the one thing keeping you, my B tier voters, from saying that it's A tier? You see raisins like candy, me too. You've kind of got raisins on the border between A and S. Okay. What puts it above a B? What puts it above a red apple? What would somebody had said this during the break. Ants on a log. When you have that little strip of celery and you put the peanut butter in the trough and then you put those cute little raisins on top, it's such a nice condensed fruity burst that cuts through the savory elements. It highlights the sweetness of the peanut butter, cuts through the savoriness of it, and kind of heightens the disparity between the sweet and the savory of the celery, you know. Ants on a log, honestly. They're trash by themselves. I think they're okay by themselves, honestly. As a little snack, we used to... probably the worst thing to have in your lunchbox, but you still ate them when they were in your lunchbox, Mars. So maybe that's a B tier. I don't know. You're happy with B or A? Okay. Think of all the other fruit you could eat in the A tier, but you only have a raisin. Okay. Like if somebody said to me, I got some fruit for you, and it was a raisin, I'd be like, oh, thank you. You're actually feeling so many things. How did orange get A? You're reeling. You're reeling at so many things. This is a community vote. Arf, 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 arf. It's a community votes. So with that, I think raisins, I will put them with their hydrated cousins or hydrated brothers, the grapes. And their distant cousin, the cranberry, who has very similar like craisin applications. You like raisins as ingredients, but maybe not on their own. I think this sits with me. The raisin at the B tier, it can sit with me. By the way, plums, so good, and prunes, great. Yeah. Orange being higher than the tangerine. Well, I might still shuffle this around. I would say if I'm going to put this here, I'm going to put it right behind the grape. Honestly. I'll put it right behind the grape. Because I'm not eating a cranberry raw. Gotta boil that in a bunch of sugar. And I've only had papayas dry. So, it sits with me, the raisin being a B tier. I'm happy to see a raisin whenever and wherever I see a raisin. Unless it's potato salad. Who is doing that? Who out here is doing that and why? And tell me. Fight for yourselves. We have some more unconventional fruits left to talk about. We have some more unconventional ones. You know? Raisins at a B, it's not a complete deal breaker on Sever for you, okay? If you ask me your tier list in the winter versus in the summer, I agree, Mars. Right now, we are in the summer, so I feel like it's the perfect time to have the discussion. Because in the winter, I need an orange. Orange is zooming right up to S tier. Because an orange at Christmas time, I mean, they used to put oranges in people's stockings during the Depression. That was what you got, and you were happy about it. You were blessed to get an orange. My father would talk about that. That was something that would be in his Christmas stocking, was like a beautiful orange, and being able to sit down and eat that on Christmas. I give my mom oranges on Christmas. I continue the tradition. Let's see. Oh, clementines. True, clementines. Clementines are very good. And is it really? It can't be ad break time, can it? We got 6 minutes left. Let's take this time together. The whole world drinks a bajillion gallons of orange juice. Orange juice. If we're talking about applications weighing in. By the way, in case you were wondering what our criteria is, let me read off some of these to you. Just so you know how we're evaluating these. Juiciness or creaminess, mess and cleanliness, texture, shelf life, combinability, ease of access, flavor, reliability or dependability, organolepticity. There are organoleptic qualities such as sight, sound doesn't really factor into a fruit usually, unless there's a fruit that you can rattle. I don't know. You thought banana wasn't a fruit but an herb. It's on this list though, so it's getting there. You crave fruits less in the winter for some reason. You don't buy as much or else it goes bad. Interesting. Where do you eat your fruits? If you're an outside fruit eater, maybe that's why. And Harmless Iterator, you wanted a link? I can absolutely get you this link right here. This is the tier list I'm working with right now. Feel free to make your own. I would love it. I love orange juice. I used to drink it like it was water when I was a kid. If I could have any juice, it would be orange juice in that moment. But the thing about orange juice, it is heavily sweetened. It's very sweet. A little too sweet for me now. I am trying to avoid added sugars and stuff, so I don't drink any more OJ. When I have it, I like have a little shot of it, and I'm like, whoa, amazing. Max has opinions. I would love to hear about Max's opinions. You don't find pears very user-friendly. You need to take a shower after eating one. Same with mangoes, though. And mangoes are god tier. Since we're talking about pears, let's talk about the Asian pear. I'm gonna put pear. S-A-B-C. I might put never had it instead of D tier. Now, if you think it's D, you can say D in the chat. I'm gonna put never had it here because we're getting into rarer territory here. I have had all of these before, but I realize maybe not everybody has. Orange juice is dependent upon your mood for how much you enjoy it. Interesting. If you're not in the mood for it, what does it taste like to you, Snake? Is it too much? You used to be allergic to pineapple, but you loved it as a kid. Once you drank a carton of pineapple juice to yourself and you turn bright red and itchy. Oh my god. We picked 100 Asian pears last summer and fall. An Asian pear tastes like a pear but is very crisp. It's as crisp as an apple. So it's a different sensory experience than like a Bartlett pear or a similar pear. It's very light, sweet flavor, very inoffensive, I'd say. But the experience of an Asian pear, you eat it because you want the crispiness. You want it to be crunchy. You want it to be crunchy. Sometimes you're not feeling it. It's like bitter, yeah. And it might leave your mouth feeling dry. But when you want some, yeah, you can sit. When my dad has OJ, he'll sit there with the bottle and just keep filling the glass back up. It's a lot. It's like 60% of the flavor. It does have an earthy flavor. Arf to the 8th is correct about that. It is a bit earthier. And I feel like a little watery, a little more watery. It seems like almost half of folks have never had it before, but the folks who have had it say it's an A tier. I gotta think about how I feel about the the Asian pear. The Netherlands has a pear that's rock hard and non-consumable raw. You cook it in a sweet red wine for about 4 hours and you put whipped cream on it. I've heard about this kind of application, Tienta. Good to see you, by the way. Welcome back. I've heard about this. Poached pears. Poached in wine. That's a very, for some reason, a very seasonal thing. You think that the Asian pear is better than regular pears, you know, our pears. You'd put it up there with green apples. A crisp pear. Yeah, it is very crisp. Yes, if you don't like grain, if you don't like the grainy pear factor or the mushy pear factor, the Asian pear is a pear for you, really. It looks like most people are putting the Asian pear at an A. Interesting. I have to think personally. Let's look deep into my heart. I'm a mushy pear person. I'll come right out and say it. I like the mess. I enjoy that mess. I like the grit of it. I like eating liquid sandpaper. I'm a strange person. You know? And you're watching this strange person show. I don't mind an Asian pear, but I feel like I like a regular pear more. But I will let you have this one because I have stomped all over you all. Often. It's certainly better than a green apple. It's easier to prepare than a raspberry. I find it doesn't leave me dry like a grape. I'd put it... I'm thinking about blueberries. I love the application of blueberries. Like a baked blueberry bread. So good. A blueberry jam, a blueberry cobbler, very good. What are the applications of the Asian pear? I don't think I've seen them outside of just sliced. Because the grit is so tiny it doesn't get stuck in my teeth. Things getting stuck in my teeth, harmless iterate, is an instant yuck for me. I don't like it. The green apple is better than a stinky, crunchy pear. Oh my goodness. Is there a link for the book with the criteria that I'm reading out? Oh no, because it's a journal. It's just a journal I wrote in. You can't get this book anywhere. Let me make sure there's not any important information, because sometimes I write down like doctor information in here. No, this is just my book. Sorry. It's just my... I talked to the chat for about a month about like what their favorite fruit is, what qualities make fruit good, and this is kind of our consensus. Organoleptic is something we learned recently. If something's organoleptic qualities kind of summarizes the sensory experience. Now, it seems like the ad is about to run, so we'll kind of hold off on litigating things. I might pop another poll so we can talk about guava. I can't even hit the button. It'll happen. 5 fruits to go, though. And then I'm getting real with you all. This is our consensus. This isn't a perfect world. If I was making a fruit salad or preparing fruit for you all, this is what I'd have at the house. This list. I'd make sure we had this available. I love when I have guests over. I love having an astounding variety of fruits. I love having people's favorite fruits too. So this would be the list that I'd have maybe like, if I'm being extravagant, maybe like 6 different fruits. Or if I'm making a fruit salad, 10 and putting them in there. But if I'm talking about my tier ranking, this is going to shake it up a lot. So let me drop the poll for guava. Let's talk about guava. I don't think I've had fresh guava. I might have had dried guava. So I'm going to do the same thing again with the S, A, B, C, and then never had tier. Instead of D tier, because I don't think anyone's going to say it's a D tier. I'm going to say we're going to put it like that. You've only seen guava, like I think it's in drinks, Slurky, often. You've only had guava in a juice mix and maybe dried in a trail mix. So you get like a tropical trail mix. Avocado toast with lime juice or a little bit of lemon juice, salt and pepper. So good. Now, Pine, have you had fresh dates as in not dried dates? I force dates that high, and if I hear any more smack about it, Mars, I'm putting them at S tier. Some companies sell sample packs of 20 different fresh fruits chilled on Amazon. Is going to make a killing. I know. I'm sure I'm influencing a lot of people to eat some fruits, and I appreciate that. Yeah. You love green apples. When you eat them, they make your gums itch. They hurt my teeth so bad, Mars. Green apples. You better take a good look at green apples on this tier list. Because they're gonna fall right to hell the second I get my way. You have had them fresh. I don't think I've ever had a fresh date before. I'm very interested though. So we've got 4 votes for never had. 1 vote for C, 1 vote for B, 1 vote for A, 1 vote for S. I'm going to put myself in the never had territory. I'll put my vote in there. I'm going to let it go. This is the Democratic poll, okay? I'm putting my vote in here instead of saying that it weighs more than everybody else. I think I've had it dried. I think I've had it in a fruit cocktail, like a beverage. But I haven't scooped out a guava. I don't know what the texture's like at all. And I feel like that's pretty important. We went for a C because it's the lowest you can go to, but guava is D tier to you, bro. This is true, Alex, but I like the illusion of democracy. Roasted Psyduck, I think I might be able to finish this tier list in an hour. If I'm lucky, we'll have just an hour. It is get up and stretch time. You're right. Let me twist my camera up while we get up and stretch, so my butt doesn't lock into place. Good point. I'm watching this guava poll. We got 2 for B, 2 for C, 7 for D. I'm thinking just for the fairness of it, guava might go into the never had it. It might move there. This is an electoral college, but there is one elector. Exactly. You're casting ballots, but I'm the one who's gonna be like, eeny, meeny, miny, F tier. You know? Good analogy there, Flynn. I love that. Really highlights the unfairness of the electoral college system. It's a cheerocracy. Yeah, that's true if you do give me money. Oh, you meant chariocracy, maybe. It depends on the guava. A bad one can be hard and unpleasant to munch into. A good one will have a softer, but not overly so core. So it's kind of a firm fruit, Nox. I see. I will, since the majority of folks haven't had it, I will put it in the I've never had this tier. But it's jackfruit, mangosteen, currants. I actually would have any of these. Even durian, which has a very bad rap, I would try. I would have any one of those. Guava bangs, yeah. I wish I had had it before. I wonder if it might be easier to access in like the Southwest US. Slightly sweet and floral. I bet it goes great in like a juice. I bet it's great in a juice. You would try durian? You wouldn't plant a tree in my garden? No. I'd have somebody prepare it for me, I think. Guava juice is fantastic, I bet. You would like someone to prepare durian and then drive it to you, yes. And then I would like them to leave it on a package in front of my door. Contactless delivery. Let's talk about blood oranges. I recently had a Cara orange, which might let me see if that is a blood orange. Let's see. Blood oranges. 4 fruits left, right? We're getting so close. Chrysanthemum, which is cyanidin 3-O-glucoside, is a main compound found in red oranges. The flesh develops its characteristic red color when the fruit develops with low temperatures during the night. It is a distinctive raspberry-like flavor in addition to the usual citrus notes. So I know there's a lot of raspberry enjoyers. You put raspberries at an A tier. So let me put blood oranges up here. We're gonna go with the S, A, B, C, and never had tier. And again, if you feel like it should rank below that, as Quantum had said for the previous fruit, then you are free to put it there. Like, I think Quantum, you said hated the guava. Blood oranges are wild. To me, they're more of a novelty. And they were like a little bit more bitter. Let me see. Apparently a Cara Cara isn't the same. Kind of raspberry oranges, right? Are you a big fan, Thanksy, of the blood orange? There's blood orange marmalade, blood orange upside down cake. Let's see. Let me look up at the Cara Cara orange. What is that? You don't like the color that you have, but you haven't eaten it. Oh, Cara Cara is so bright, it might even be... It's a cross between two navel oranges. Okay, it's kind of like a pink orange. It's a cousin to blood oranges, but it's something. Let's see, it's a navel orange instead. Alrighty. Yeah, this is a completely different orange. So I don't think I've ever had this. I'll put my vote down for never had for blood oranges, because I don't think I've actually had it before. It does sound good from what I've said, right? Sanguine oranges are better than normal oranges, but they would be the same tier. A tier for you, Mars. You've had a Cara Cara, but not a true blood orange. Me neither. You're sure you bought them once, but you don't remember anything about them? Yeah, I may have had it once, but it wasn't like, this is way better than an orange. Hello, Pack. Good to see you. Blood oranges probably have the flavor you were applying to grapefruits. What do you think grapefruit tastes like then? It looks like the majority of folks have just not had it before, but it's something I feel like might be slightly more accessible than some of the other exotic fruits. Maybe easier to get around the holidays. It's something I would try as an adult, so I can have like that moment to be like, okay, I know what this tastes like. Fine, you know. Blood orange's flavor is definitely similar to the grapefruit. I wonder if I'd enjoy it. Let's see. Oh. Wikipedia links the Cara Cara navel on the blood orange sites on that page. However, says that it is a different type of red flesh orange. Okay. So it says, a popular Sicilian winter salad is made with sliced blood oranges, sliced bulb fennel, and olive oil. The oranges have also been used to create gelato, sorbet, and Italian soda. The zest can be used for baking. The oranges are used to make marinade. And the juice is somewhat tart. Other kinds of sweet while retaining the characteristic blood orange flavor. But the majority of folks, now those of you who have had it, says it's S tier or A tier. So that's pretty remarkable. Interesting. S tier. It's better than a regular orange to most of you that have had it. So it sounds like we all have some homework to do. I will still put it at the never had it, but it sounds like we should try blood oranges because we're kind of missing out. We're getting to the ones you have the most feelings for. Kumquats. Kumquats. Please don't cut that clip short. I guess we really have to try it. You can't rate fruits because you put 90 of them. I mean, we're getting really dicey about Agresta. We're getting like so hyper focused on fruit. You know? We're getting so deeply invested in fruits. Because honestly, if you gave me pretty much any fruit, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, fruits. Hell yeah. What kind of quats? Now, come on now. Do you dislike kumquats? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna give, if you want to rank it below a C, you'll have to say so in chat, because again, this might be something most people haven't had. The neat thing about kumquats, they are a small citrus fruit that you can eat peel and all. You can eat the whole thing, just pop it right in your mouth and eat the whole thing. It's like a teensy tiny little orange. Because you eat the peel, it's very zesty. The essential oil really comes to the fore. So, again, if you despise them, you can say so in chat. I will count that. You rank them at a Z, and that's pushing it. You just hate them. They are like the babies of oranges. Let me read you a little something about kumquats. So, their taxonomy is disputed. Interesting. Science is not really sure where to put these. The edible fruit closely resembles the orange in color and shape. It's much smaller, being approximately the size of a large olive. They're usually about this big. The kumquat is a fairly cold, hardy citrus. Comes from the Cantonese the barring of Cantonese gamquat, which is golden orange. It's native to southern China. It was introduced in 1846 by Robert Fortune, collector for the London Horticultural Society, to Europe. So now they're found across the world. They have thornless branches, very glossy leaves, like a lot of citrus fruits. It's 81% water, 16% carbs, 2% protein, 1% fat. Interesting. Well, not listen to the... I want to hear about the flavor, though. Cultivation, composition. The essential oil of the kumquat peel contains much of the aroma of the fruit and is composed principally of limonene, which makes around 93% of the total. I remember kumquats. Hi, Egad. Good to see you. I just don't think... I mean, they might be A tier, but the community rated them as such, Egad. My exposure to kumquats was one of my friends in middle school had a little Tupperware container full of them. Passed them over to me. I've only had them once. I didn't really seek them out. But I was, like, shocked because she was eating these little oranges whole, popping them in her mouth. And she gave me one of them, and I tried one, and I was delighted just by the experience of it. Thought it was so novel, so interesting to be able to eat a fruit such as that whole. Chad, have you ever imagined how pure bitter action would taste? It is very essential essence forward. This makes no sense. Mars, you can make your own. Let me just copy it for you. I'll let you make your own. You can tweet it to me. You can put it in the Discord if you'd like. To me, it tasted like an orange. It tasted not like orange juice, but it tasted the way an orange smells. When you peel an orange and you get that spray, that delightful spray, that is the whole flavor of the kumquat. That peeling back, the sense experience, the potpourri of the orange is the flavor of the kumquat. And then you just get to have the fun of eating a fruit whole like you were some kind of little creature. You know, like a creature would do. Just get out there. You think a deer is gonna come up there and peel a kumquat? No, it's gonna eat the whole thing whole. It's gonna take a whole bite of that. I guess like a La Croix version, but the flavor is very strong. It's not like it's unflavored. Like a La Croix is like you smell it but you don't taste it. The kumquat, you're tasting the rind. Most folks have never had it. Some folks think it's C tier or below. I'll agree with you. Since I personally have had it, I'd put it at a C tier. It's not something I'm gonna go buy a big old carton of it. I'd say it's like, yeah. But since most of you haven't had it, we're gonna put it there. You would feel like a feral chimp eating citrus. Yeah, but you'd be like, that'd be fun though. I'd feel like the king of the forest eating these things whole. Sure is suspicious there's nothing in D tier. There will be. Chat doesn't like to put stuff in the D tier. I think chat's just like grateful for what they have. Chat would be happy with any fruit. Don't forget to count your vote for the D tier. Alright, we'll put it down here. No, I'm just kidding. Now, I know, Quantum, you are a mulberry enjoyer. D is for date? You don't like dates? We're nice to fruits you don't like, yeah. The fruits that are like whatever, people are putting in C tier. Now, mulberries. We're so close to the end of this. We got sour cherries and mulberries. We'll start with mulberries. I just had that one experience with kumquats, so I'd personally put it here. But I will honor the chat's decision of it being in it. I've never had this territory. Fine by me. I know Quantum is a huge mulberry enjoyer. I think you're going to be very disappointed, Quantum, by how many People really have never had them before, unfortunately. God has looked down on our saddle earth, saw the pitiful way our societies have grown, our eternal torments at the heart of kumquats, and in his infinite mercy, he hath blessed our planet with white mulberries. I will allow you to put white mulberry there. You can say white mulberry is a mulberry. And Snake, you never knew that mulberries were edible. You used to have a mulberry tree outside your house. All you knew is that birds would eat them and carpet bomb your car with poop and mulberry remains. I have a very similar experience. My mom told me when we moved into our house, she said, don't you eat those berries. She may have told me they were poisonous, but I certainly knew they were not for me. And I saw like silkworms or bagworms or something like that move into the tree and cast a huge Halloween cottony web over the tree that was filled with all these gross little creatures. And so I figured every berry had a gross little creature in it, so I wouldn't eat it. So all these great berries just been falling to the ground. And the birds are loving it. Oh, the organoleptic qualities may not be for you then, Nox. I see. The web nests are cool. On Halloween, on October 31st only will I allow such cottony, spidery webness on the property. I hate seeing those nets. I hate seeing those nets. You're aware of the great possibility of how much everyone is missing out. Shall make my purpose to remedy that and bring you all the concentration of pure holiness. I feel like maybe I snuck a blueberry or two growing up. I'm sorry, a mulberry or two growing up. And it's certainly a berry. It's like a sweeter, lighter blackberry. I feel like I've eaten one or two of them. Sweeter, lighter, maybe even tangier. You survived on mulberry trees in your neighborhood in your summer youth. What'd you think of them? How would you describe the flavor, Harmless? I think the white mulberries that Quantum likes are probably far more tart. That This Is Fine emote is so good. Jade is brilliant. You got back late. You want a recount, Mars. I'm sorry, we will not be. I already have spent how many hours now? 3 today, 5 yesterday. I spent 8 hours talking about fruit. I'm not going to relitigate this except for to say that some folks are wrong about certain berries, and that will come, I promise you. Your grandparents have 2 trees and lovingly pick them, and your grandma would make pie. I think that's so sweet. Okay, the white ones are super sweet in the best subtle way. Light flavor, lightly sweet, balance of texture. Interesting. Mulberries are awesome, slightly, very similar to blackberries. We have some mulberry believers. Got 3 people saying they're S tier. Those of you who've had them love them. So maybe see if your local, if your neighbors have mulberry trees, will let you pick some. Those of us who haven't had them, which is the majority of folks, I'd say pick them. But a lot of folks, as many folks are rating them at a C tier or as an S tier. So you love them or you can't stand them, it seems. Dried mulberries, never had them before. I only see them dried up when they drop to the ground and start turning into a tree. Dakelpun carrying orange. Dakelpun. What is that? Why did you read butt juicer? Oh, but juicier, I see. Maybe if you cut into smaller chunks, you could have a mulberry. Mulberries are cone shaped. And they can be kind of long. They're kind of fingery. Mulberry trees have always been decorative. I don't even remember mulberry trees having flowers on it, and I grew up with one. Interesting. Never knew it was a popular food. Apparently, if you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you hate it. Is dragon fruit a C and not a D because of its appearance? Yeah, pretty much. And also, apparently, it's good in juices. Eaten by Pharaoh. And there are other varieties which have a stronger flavor. I'm sorry, Quantum. You know, Quantum, would you rather I put it as a C tier or I've never had it? I will let you, our mulberry ambassador, decide. I will let you, our mulberry ambassador, decide, Quantum. You have the choice. C tier, or I've never had this. You put it in C tier, you're actually unsubbing. After Cherry got the S spot, you'd say, put it in, I never had it. Okay. You support this decision? You're not even joking? It'll remain in the I've never had this territory. Alright? You want to know what the true 5-scale fruit rating would be? What's a D fruit, chat? What goes in there? You'll see in a minute what goes in the D tier. As soon as we litigate the sour cherries, I'll tell you what a D tier fruit is. I'll show you. You will find out. You will know. I would honestly put... We'll talk about this in a second. Last fruit to talk about, y'all. The sour cherry, different from the black cherry, the regular cherry. Going S, A, B, C, and D. I don't know if I've had a sour... Oh! I can't edit that, can I? I can't say never had it. If you've never had it, you can just say in chat that you haven't had it. I'm sorry about that. Oh, and then we've got all these rankings up here. Alright, I scrolled. What are those edible mini oranges? You always want to try them. They're called kumquats. Those are kumquats. Haven't had it, Flynn. Haven't had it, Knox. I'm counting those up. You'll say one thing. Sour cherry juice, barring water, is the best liquid thing that's ever graced your lips. So it's S tier for you. A place near you makes a sour cherry pie, and it goes so hard they go straight to S tier. Wow. Sour cherry liqueur is very good. I gotta count these. Never had it. I've had a lot of cherries as well, Mara, so I don't know if I've had sour cherries. I just like cherries, so maybe they're good? Is a sour cherry different from a choke cherry? I don't know. I don't know. Every time you get them, it's by accident, but you are glad that you get them. Cage, you don't eat cherries, so I'm gonna put you down for never had it. It's so unbelievably tart. Interesting. Your grandparents grow blackberries and sour cherries everywhere they move for canned jams. Wow, they're like, all right, we're moving. Time to grow some more sour cherries from scratch. Your parents have a cherry tree, but you know what kind? It's the pie kind, though. Oh, interesting. Interesting. We have 3 votes so far for never had it, by the way. I'm keeping track of those. 3 votes for S tier and 3 votes for never had it. 1 for A tier, 1 for B tier, 1 for C, and 1 for D. Sour cherry jam. I think I have had sour cherry jam before. And it was really good. Better than regular cherry jam. I really enjoyed a sour cherry jam. I don't think I've had the straight up fruit, though. You call it ginja around here. It's served cold as a shot. That's the liqueur. It's so good, but it goes up really fast. You know, anger people, but you prefer the artificial cherry flavor over actual cherries. I mean, that's a factor. It's certainly a factor. You love the straight up fruit, but it's a little too sour for most people. So it's mostly something, it's kind of like, I mean, it's like a lemon or a lime. People really aren't eating too many of those. No, Lorky, if you want to vote that you didn't have it, you can say so in chat. Because I accidentally put D tier in there. So I wanted to let folks, if folks are like, hate sour cherry, they'll put it at D tier. Oh, it's Jinja. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Morphinies, for letting me know. You've never had it. So it's 4 for never had. 4 for never had and 3 for S tier. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Technically, S tier wins the poll with 3 votes. However, more people haven't had sour cherries. Let me do one more. Just in case some folks are shy, they don't want to pop into chat. Maybe they can't pop into chat. Let's see. I'm going to do good, bad, never had. Alrighty. Good, bad, and never had. You have the same amount of time just to give you all the opportunity to click the button to say, never had it. It does make me go, I think sour cherries have a good culinary application as well. I feel like sour cherries and pork would go great together as like a little sauce over your pork loin. That would be good. Ham goes well with like a deep black cherry. 7 for never had. I see. We really were missing that option. 7 for never had. 4 of you coming out saying it's good. You can't eat them, so they go in somebody else's belly. Does Max eat them instead? As a sauce for pork, you've never had it as a sauce. Consider it, since you are a big sour cherry fan. 9 votes now for never had. Again, sour cherry enjoyers, would you prefer it go low tier? I would move it up to maybe a B tier instead. If we were talking about ranking it, even though most people haven't had it. I would say it's a B tier to me. It can go in the never tried. Rather than like a B tier, you'd say? It could go in never tried? Okay. B tier would be the biggest injustice I've ever done. It's gonna go in never had. Oh, well, hold on. Let me scooch it down. Well, I can't scooch it down. But if suddenly five or 6 more folks came out of nowhere and for the next minutes said that sour cherries were the best thing that they ever had, I could put it up there in A or S. They are rather uncommon around here. I think the American fruit palette skews very sweet. When we want it... I'm sorry. When we don't... Sorry. We get something to drink. I've been talking about fruit for 8 hours. I think when Americans want something sour, they go for a green apple or a grapefruit. Or a lemon or a lime. They're not usually going to go for a sour cherry. The Cherry Commission is coming at me. They're trying to kill me. I know you aren't all Americans. Not everybody voting is American. But I feel like they're going to be a little more inaccessible here in the US. You're a cherry hater, Devontae. Wow. Chocolate is a fruit. So are nuts, apparently. There's a lot of things that are fruits. Thank you, Lurky, for reminding me to drink some water. I'm sacrificing my well-being. Do you know how like shredded my throat was by the end of the show yesterday? I had to drink so much ginger tea. Chocolate's a vegetable? It is a bean. Interesting. You can only get dried dates covered in sugar. Wait, covered in sugar? That is so weird. It should just be dried as is. Alright, let's see. 10 folks say they've never had sour cherries. It's gonna stay in the I've never had this territory. So this is it. I know, Alex. And tomorrow I gotta do voices for Final Fantasy XIV. Ay. This is it. This is our weighted tier as a community for certain fruits. Now, some of your favorites may not be where you thought they were. Some of my favorites, I mean, I really tip the scales and I really put my faves where they should be. But there are some things I disagree with, of course. So take a print screen of this, okay? Community one. This is the me being nice to you all one, okay? This is me being nice. Screenshot this because it's gonna change. Alright? Yeah, some of them... Yeah, dates don't need extra sugar. They're very sugary. Very, very, very sugary. This is by the committee. This is electoral college, okay? I'm your elected representative and I'm deciding what's right for you in my position. As corrupt as I might be. It's time for my real true feelings to bust loose. Alright? Okay? We have this. We've agreed upon this. This will stand forever, okay? Forever and ever and anon. I honor your feelings. Put this one in the museum. This one's going in the museum. But we need to talk about some stuff. This is all a fable for why the electoral college does not work or something. Well, now I'm going to be a despot. Yeah, if anyone wants to screenshot this. And then when my tier is here, I'll be like, ha ha ha. You know, that's my evil thing. Anyone think we might end up in a class action lawsuit? Let me speak my truth, okay? Green apples suck. Alright? You're all wrong about green apples. They're D tier. Now, I wouldn't put them in F tier because they're still a fruit. But green apples are wrong. They're wrong. They hurt my teeth. They are far inferior to the red apple, who should be A tier. The Gala apple, the Fuji, the Pink Lady, the Envy apple, Braeburns. I can name 5 apples that are better than green. Easy. Easy. The best fruit is the impeach. Green apples are painful to eat, and they can only be improved by the presence of honey or peanut butter. I might put them in. I don't know. Oh, I'm thinking about it. Because they are good for baking. You hurt your teeth on a green apple last time you ate one, right? Let us not let these fruit hurt us. Why should we let these fruit hurt us? You all had your ranking, okay? You had it, Mars. Green was up there, all right? That was your feelings. These are mine. What kind of apples are in apple pie? Largely green apples. So I might sit him at a C, but go to hell, grapefruit. I'm sorry. No. That's a no from me, dog. Grapefruit is a punishment. It's soap. It's lotion. It's glass cleaner. It's body mist. It's a perfume. But I'm not eating that. Not on my life am I eating that. Green apple is lucky that grapefruit exists, because green apple would be a D tier. I'll move it up to a C tier because it's good for baking. But it hurts. It hurts. Grapefruit, go. Leave. Leave us be. And now to hurt some of our feelings. Cherry. You can stay. It's okay. Let me think about these other ones, though. Sometimes blueberries are kind of dry. Wait. Oh, blueberry, you can stay. Raspberry, get out of here. Go to the C tier where you belong. You're too mushy. You're hard to prepare. You go down the drain. You're too dang expensive. All right? C tier for you. You little jerks. Okay. I'm telling you, these are my feelings. C tier. It's a C tier fruit. I gotta tell you. Pear. Now come here, pear. I know you had your feelings hurt. You are solidly an A tier. Grapes. Come to me. Let's get these green grapes where they belong. In the B tier. Let's be real. Green grapes, they're so dry. Ugh. Red grapes, at least they have the decency of being sweet and wet. You know? Now, what else is moving? The kiwi's gonna stay in A tier because of the golden kiwi. Plums are so good, the sour skin, the sweet fruits. What's moving? What is left? Green grapes are dry. They're like... You eat a green grape, it's like... Ah. Agreed on the pair of the mistreatment of grapes gives you pause. Green grapes. They're so dry. They're waiting for my final verdict. They're watching as I hover over them. They're watching. Apricot, come with me to the B tier. Apricots. My dried friend. The only thing that turns me off from apricots is I did read a short story in which it was like a let's see. I think he was a dictator that was in maybe South America, who had cut off the ears of all of his political opponents and put them in a bag and dumped them out, and the writer had described those ears as looking all like dried apricots. So I was like, don't do that. Don't do that to apricots. Apricot is delicious. But then sometimes when I look at them, I think of them as ears. Anyway. Tina's grocery sells dehydrated green grapes. They're dry. They're so dry. They make my mouth so dry. Blackberries. Listen. Listen. Oh, blackberries. I gotta think about it. Currant's gotta go down here. I've never had it before. I make that easy decision. Rambutan, haven't had it before. That's easy for me to make. Lychee, I've only had it in a gummy form. Blackberries. You surprised dragon fruit hasn't been moved down yet? You're right, because dragon fruit escaped my notice. But it is cute, though. It has the decency of looking cute as hell. Blackberry sorbet, they grow everywhere. Have I had starfruit? I did. And it was good. It was very good. It was fun. There's a whole movie about that. There's a phone about it. There's a phone about it. Yeah, dragon fruit has the decency to look cute as hell. But it tastes like nothing. A passion fruit, I'm gonna move passion fruit down to the I've never had it territory because I don't think I've had passion fruit in the last 25 years. So I can't tell you that I know how that feels, how it tastes. I really can't judge it. So it's kind of a mercy move for me. Oh, the movie's about the phone. How about that? Starfruit's disappointing. I'll put it in C tier. Because it's like, it's not as good as an orange. It's kind of like a watery orange. But it's fun and it looks cute. But it's like better than a dragon fruit. I'd put a raspberry better than that. I put a green apple better than dragon fruit because it tastes like something and it's good for the baking. Maybe you might be moving up green apple. Maybe hold on now. My feelings are changing. See, this is why we have to do this. Because a green apple is good for the baking. When you slice up a green apple and you put a bunch of brown sugar on it and you put it in a pan, you serve it alongside of pork chops. Green apple's talking to me. It's pleading for its life. It's like, I have a family. I have to support them. Please don't put me down. Eating it fresh is a pain, but I enjoy the experience more than a blackberry. Pomegranate. The seeds are bad. It's not as good as a raspberry to me. It's not as good as a raspberry. Lemon was asked because it's less about eating it by itself. Green moved to higher because other methods don't hurt your gums. Yeah, I'm gonna allow green apple to talk to me. The applications are good. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. They hold their flavor. So green apples hold their texture in baked goods better than a red apple. Because the red apple is so giving, it's so soft, it's so sweet. But it melts in the embrace of the heat. It just can't keep up. But the green apple stays strong, but you do need to sweeten it in these baked applications. But, you know, that's what baked goods are about. They're about the sweetening. Let's see, does anybody else have to move? I might move avocado up. And I might move, I'm gonna put papaya at C tier. The fresh one I had was not good, but the dried ones are good. They're as good as raisins. All right, you get to stay, papaya. You get to stay. But the avocado. Guacamole. The fat in an avocado can sustain you. The oil of an avocado has a very high smoking point. So it's very good to cook with. And it's great to drizzle on a salad. Green apples are resilient. They retain their incredible fortitude and attitude in the face of tremendous attacks at their value. Surely an S tier attributes. You love the avocado song or the guacamole song? I love this song. I love the avocado. Avocado? Where does he go? Where does he live? The avocado. The humble avocado. The bold avocado. If I see an avocado in my fruit bowl, I'm eating the avocado. When it's ripe, I'm waiting for it. I'll eat everything else while I'm waiting for it to ripen. Avocado, it's in the same class as tomatoes, which is S tier. If tomatoes were on this list, they'd be up there S tier. Above the strawberry. Above the strawberry, yeah. I would rate it above the strawberry. Because it's giving you energy. You have to eat a lot of strawberries to feel full. An avocado sliced. Half an avocado with some lemon and some salt on it. I don't need to eat now. I can wait. I can wait now. I can wait till I have time to make a real meal or something. But yeah, the avocado. I'm going to put it above a pineapple. It is... I think people rate it low because of the danger of preparation. But again, I've never hurt myself cutting up an avocado. Salt on a fresh slice of avocado. On a baked baguette. Oh, with honey. I've never had a sweet application of it, but you can make a chocolate ice cream with avocado. Yeah, guacamole brings avocado up. Sliced avocado on a grilled chicken sandwich with some tomato and lettuce. So good. So good. I'm going to move some stuff since I've had some of these. I'm going to move some of these. The kumquats. Since I've technically had them. Technically, I've had them. I'm trying to decide if a kumquat is better than a grapefruit. Grapefruit is like soap to me. I can't have it. It is soap. You know? Because avocados made Gen Z broke. Well, I think it made the millennials broke. The Gen Z kids are just eating the TikTok. Kumquat is not better than a grapefruit. I'll let you have this one. The mulberry. Oh, you get to pick, Quantum. You get to pick. Because you know what? Never mind. Well, you get to pick between sour cherries. Would you rather see kumquat at C tier and sour cherry at B? Sour cherry. I've only ever had its application in a jam. I'm gonna put it at C tier. Kumquat lady. Kumquat lady. You're my butterfly. Sugar. C maybe? This is my tier list. Why am I getting your opinions on it? I don't know. I just want to be nice to Quantum. Sour cherry at a B is unfair but acceptable. You gotta... Now, I think it was I think it was Cum that made Autobot upset. You've only had kumquat for drink syrups. Interesting. But you couldn't prep them like figs. Interesting. Brown sugar and bake. I can put sour cherries in the tier I considered kumquats for. Well, I considered kumquats for B tier. I mean, sorry, C tier. Are you okay, Lurky? Urglefitz? Yobblesla? Are you alright? Oh, you've lost your reason. Your mind is blown. You do have to ask. If I had sour cherries, I've only had sour cherry jam and it's great. So if I were to rank it purely on my only experience, I guess I put it at a B. Below the lychee, which I've only had as a gummy. So I put them down here as like the one experience I've had with them is the good. Trying to think if I like an apricot more than a raisin. I think there's more culinary applications for raisins than apricots. Mulberry, that's worms. I'm sorry. That's worms. Passion fruit juice, it's good, but I have no experience with the actual passion fruit. Orville bang dorble schnong. What broke your brain, Lurky? What broke your brain? Since when is avocado dangerous? A lot of people cut their hand slicing avocados because they slice it in their hands. Let me see if anything else feels right. Blueberries might be B tier. High B tier. Kiwi. Or blueberries? I don't know if I really enjoy a bowl of blueberries. But maybe I'm getting into them too late. B tier stands for blueberries. Yeah, I think so. A lot of people slap a sharp chef's knife into the avocado seed. If you miss, yeah, it slides off. It goes into your hand. Can't have a passion fruit since drinking too much passoa as a young child. I don't know, or as a young adult. What is that, Lawrence? Dates and figs on the B tier. Next, your precious boy orange. No, dates and figs are A tier. You weep, but you respect my opinion. Yes, you should put the avocado down so you don't hurt yourself. Trying to see if this sits right with me. Blueberries often get the supermarket treatment where they're more sour than they normally are If they're chilled and stored, interesting. Very interesting. I'm gonna keep cherry in the S tier. Passoa is a passion fruit alcohol often drunk by kids in school. Interesting. I've never heard of it before. I'm thinking about the cherry as S tier. I do love a bowl of cherries. And I do love a cherry in the Jell-O. But is it an S tier fruit? Personally, it might be a high A. If people think using a sharp knife to slice a fruit with their hand as a cutting board is a good idea, those people are proving Darwin right. Maybe they should leave behind. They should be left behind on the evolutionary ladder. Oh my god. How could you? All these poor drunken people making guacamole. I'm gonna leave this as it is. I'm gonna leave it as it is. This sits right with me. You have cherries at a high A. I'm gonna leave it up there for my father, who loves cherries so much. This is kind of an inherited thing, I think. Because I do like sitting down with some cherries, juicy cherries. I could sit down with a bowl of cherries and be happy. As many changes as you thought, because I think, you know, honestly, I agree with a lot of us on our choices. I wouldn't drag... Did I drag anything from the S tier down? I don't think so. I'm feeling like maybe orange could go up, though. Or the tangerine. We have just a few... We have like one citrus representation up there. We've got like a stone fruit. We got a few stone fruits. Some drupes. Black cherries are so good. That's my favorite. And Black Forest cake. A cherry jam. So good. I think so, Orphanius. I have heard reason. So this is my evil list. That's for the screenshot. Okay, anyway. This is my true feelings. And it really is that green apples hurt and grapefruit is soap. And mulberries are for the worms. But that's honestly, it didn't change much. Really? God grant me strength. I'm sorry, Quantum, it's bird food. When you live with a mulberry tree, Quantum, I'm so sorry. If I could have traded our childhood so you could live at this wonderful house with a mulberry tree, then I think you would have been a happy person. You'd be making mulberry jam today. Your life would be so different. You would not love y'all even if you guys were mulberry. Well, this sits right with me. This is my true feelings about fruit. I've revealed them. I think fruit is great. And you know what, Quantum? I would have a mulberry. If you gave me a little bowl of mulberries, I'd eat it. And friends, if you gave me a grapefruit and you're like, I want you to have this, I'd have it. I'd eat it. At the end of the day, it's all fruit. And fruit is just a plant's lovely gift to us. It's what sustains us, gets us going through the day. It's a quick burst of calories so you can move on with life. You know, if you gave me a grapefruit, I'd say, oh, this smells a lot like my mom's perfume. But if you said, try it, you'll like it, I'd try it. I'd have it for you, you know? If you gave me a bowl of washed mulberries and you, Quantum, prepared those white mulberries for me and said, don't worry, there's no bugs in this, I'd have it. And you know what? Maybe I'd really like it. You will look into your visa application ASAP. Oh, speaking of charity events, I am raising money on the 19th for the American Heart Association. Now, grapefruit might mess with my medication, like my birth control, my Ritalin, so I will have to make sure that's not going to be a problem. But I am raising money for the American Heart Association. If I can find grapefruit and mulberries, I will eat them and sour cherries I will eat sour cherries, grapefruit, and mulberries as an incentive. You live a few states away from me. You can ship some to a P.O. box to rot. It does mess with birth control. Yeah. For me, maybe I could have a small amount of grapefruit. I won't be eating the whole thing myself. My mom would be delighted. You want to see me have some durian? If I could find some prepared stuff. Yes, I did it. I moved avocado. It's so good, and it's good for you attribute, and it's right. Coconut might move up too. I don't know. That oil. I will message my doctor about it. But this is my list. This is my feelings. And if you like the fruits that I don't like, that's okay. And if you don't like the fruits that I like a lot, that's okay too. But yeah. Can I add it to Throne? Dried mulberries? I don't even know where I would find them, but... You're back from the store? You almost purchased a grenadilla. Purely because it's a new fruit you never tried before. Is that like a pomegranate? Ask your pharmacist. Okay, I will write that down. Amazon definitely has dried mulberries. Well, maybe I'll eat them for the charity thing. Why not? But yes, this is my feelings about fruits. And it only took us 9 hours to suss this out. 9 hours. This is the Amazon link for dried mulberries. Okay. Oh, a grenadilla is like a passion fruit. Just a little bit of time. Now, if you enjoy this, I do think we're going to have a similar discussion about vegetables in October. And then we're going to talk about nuts in November. For the jokes, you know. Then in November. Banana should be D, Isabella movie. I can't. The banana is the friend of humanity. Oh, it's just too good. Your list is all within one rank of mine. Pretty close. How about that? Good night, everyone. You'll be busy having nightmares. Quantum, my heart goes out to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm glad that someone out there is eating mulberries. A color tier list? That might be getting a little too silly, but maybe. Maybe, Ziff. We'll think about it. Quantum, sleep well. Thank you for sharing. You know your mulberries were safe in the other two. Just to be clear, you're not actually that upset. But also, this is wrong. The good thing about opinions is they're like buttholes. Everyone has one. And tonight, ours are filled with fruit.